This page features the bright, eye-catching cover of Beep! Mega Drive magazine from June 1992. Front and center is a cheerful illustration of Sonic the Hedgehog in a stylized racing car against a whimsical, abstract background. The large red title Mega Drive dominates the top of the page. Highlights on the cover include a special supplement dedicated to the Mega CD RPG, Lunar, the Silver Star, teasing the start of the adventure. There's also a major feature titled Latest Overseas MD Situation, promising a deep dive into the Genesis scene in America and Europe, including magazine guides and software checks. A notable special project advertised is a conversation between two gaming legends, Yuji Horii, creator of Dragon Quest, and Toshiyuki Takahashi. The cover also lists several games covered inside under Mega CD Press, such as Wonder Dog, Prince of Persia, Dark Wizard, Rise of the Dragon, and Yumemi Mystery Tour, alongside some Japanese exclusive titles like Detonator Organ and Isle Load. Other Mega Drive games mentioned vertically down the left side include classics like Thunder Force IV, known as Lightning Force in North America, and Speedball 2, plus Japanese titles like Grey Matter, Chameleon Kid, Twinkletail, Hero MD, and Royal Blood. The cover promises a powerful dose of Mega Drive news and features from 1992. This page features the Sega Mega Drive game Chameleon Kid, which was highlighted on the previous page's cover. The main visual is a striking illustration depicting the cool, sunglasses-wearing protagonist surrounded by a host of bizarre and colorful characters, hinting at the game's core mechanic. Vertical text proclaims, 7 falls, 8 rises, 9 transformations. My name is Chameleon, emphasizing the hero's ability to change forms. The artwork shows transformations into various forms, including a Jason-like character, a samurai, robots, and others. The page confirms the game's release date of May 29th and its price. 4 small screenshots at the bottom provide a look at the game's platforming action and diverse level designs. This advertisement promotes the Sega Mega CD and its upcoming game, Quiz Scramble Special. The striking image showcases a person engaged in thought, hinting at the game's intellectual challenge. Quiz Scramble Special is described as an intelligent quiz game with 5,000 questions, promising a brain-teasing experience where players answer questions posed by animals to survive in a strange world. The ad highlights the Mega CD's capacity for large-scale games. Hardware options like the Mega CD attachment for the Genesis/Mega Drive and the all-in-one Wonder Mega, a multi-AV machine with karaoke and music capabilities, are also presented, showcasing the versatility of the Mega CD platform. The next page presents another exciting title for the Sega Mega CD, Thunderstorm. This game, licensed from Data East and ported by Wolf Team, highlights the Mega CD's capabilities, with an impressive 10,000 animation frames. It promises a truly unique, virtual experience. The screenshots showcase various action-packed scenes, from a command center and jungle environments to a dramatic view of a city skyline featuring the Statue of Liberty, hinting at the diverse settings and intense action within this full-motion video title. This page formally announces Storm, the Mega CD title from Wolf Team. Building on the capabilities discussed previously, this shooting masterpiece is finally revived on the Mega CD. The page features a striking grid of FMV screenshots showcasing intense action sequences, including helicopter combat over lush landscapes and futuristic cityscapes, along with dramatic close-ups of a mysterious giant figure, hinting at the scale and visual fidelity of this full-motion video experience. It highlights the game's imminent arrival with a release date of late June. This page features the striking cover art for the classic RPG, Lunar, the Silver Star, developed by Game Arts for the Mega CD. The illustration, credited to Toshiyuki Kubuka, depicts the protagonist Alex bravely battling a monstrous creature, while the heroine, Luna, is ensnared by its tentacles. The artwork sets the stage for a grand adventure and rescue mission, characteristic of this beloved role-playing game on the Sega CD. The title, Lunar the Silver Star, is prominently displayed in both English and Japanese. This page continues the feature on Lunar, the Silver Star for the Sega CD. The prominent artwork is a dynamic scene depicting protagonists Alex and Luna, alongside a small beast, in what appears to be a snowy confrontation. Dramatic text accompanies the illustration, describing lurking creatures with glowing eyes and fierce roars, urging the young adventurers to press forward with courage. Below the main art are 4 screenshots showing different facets of the game: an overhead view of the world map exploration, a turn-based battle sequence displaying combat options, a view inside a building or dungeon with character dialogue, and another battle scene set in the same icy environment as the main illustration. The page confirms the game's release on the Mega CD by Game Arts. This page features a large advertisement for the Sega Genesis game, Alicia Dragoon. The main artwork depicts the protagonist, Alicia, surrounded by fantastical creatures including a large winged beast and a dragon. Several gameplay screenshots are integrated into the illustration, showcasing different levels and action sequences. The text highlights the game as a high-action shooting game from Game Arts, created with their technology and professional staff. It mentions features like 8 stages across 12 areas, 68 types of enemies, and 32 music tracks. Gainax is credited with the story and visual supervision. The screenshots demonstrate key gameplay mechanics, such as using lightning magic, summoning companion creatures to assist Alicia, and the unique auto-aiming attack that can clear multiple enemies. The page confirms the game is available now for 7,800 yen. This page announces that Riot is bringing the legendary Galaxy Express 999 to the Mega CD as a new software title, finally revealed. The page also details an extension to Riot's brand campaign, now running until August 31st. Additionally, a separate fan appreciation present giveaway is extended to May 31st, offering original goods like t-shirts, card radios, CD cases, and clocks from their PC Engine CD and Mega CD titles, including Valis, Future Boy Conan, Magical Girl Silky Lip, Deathbringers, and Cosmic Fantasy Stories. They also promote their radio show, Animetics 600 Seconds, and provide a user hotline number. This page showcases 3 upcoming titles from Sims Corporation for the Sega Genesis family of consoles. First up is Quiz Taisen Sengokushi for the Mega CD. Described as a Sengoku period quiz simulation game based on a popular arcade title. It promises voice output and new events, challenging players' knowledge of the era to unify Japan. The screenshot shows a character profile card with stats. The copyright info is it's a reprogrammed game based on Capcom's 1991 work. Next is Junkers High for the Sega Genesis. This is presented as a futuristic 3D racing game set in Dome City. Players race against rivals, navigating traps like tunnels, hidden paths, jumps, and pitfalls. The description highlights the game's speed and thrilling development, with screenshots showing the perspective from the cockpit during races. Finally, VE for the Mega CD is revealed. This is Sim's first original dramatic RPG, revolving around the ultimate weapon, landmail. Key features include character design by renowned illustrator Keisuke Kajishima, and animation direction by Yasuo Ishii for the visual anime scenes, creating a groundbreaking fantasy world. A prominent logo is displayed for this title. All 3 games are listed with price undecided, with Quiz Taisen Sengokushi and Junkers High scheduled for August 92 release, and VE for December 92. This page features a striking visual slogan in large, bold characters: playing with games, learning with games, earning with games. This serves as the central message for Vantan Cyber Information College, an institution dedicated to training the next generation of game software super creators. The page functions as an advertisement and information source for potential students. Below the main slogan is an event schedule detailing upcoming opportunities to learn more about the college. It lists various dates and times for cyber creator seminars and area school information sessions held in cities like Hiroshima, Fukuoka, and Osaka. These events offer insights into careers in game software creation, multimedia, and CAG, providing lectures and career advice for attendees. Participation is free, with reservations recommended via postcard. The college's contact address in Shibuya, Tokyo, and a free dial phone number are also prominently displayed for inquiries. This page features announcements for upcoming and recently released games from CSK Research Institute. Headlining the page is Afterburner 2, slated for an August release. Described as a culmination of the experience-based shooting series, it promises realistic cockpits and intense dogfights. though the featured screenshot is from the FM Towns version. Also announced for August is Dyna Brothers, a comical strategy simulation supervised by Dr. Rika Kayama, featuring cute dinosaur/frog characters shown in the bottom right image. Meanwhile, the space combat title Galaxy Force 2 is already available, with its price listed. The developer emphasizes their dedication and serious effort in creating these titles, despite the potentially light-hearted tone of the advertisement, expressing concern but ultimately looking forward to players' expectations. These titles are presented for the Sega Mega CD and Mega Drive platforms. This page announces the upcoming release of the classic futuristic sports game, Speedball 2, published in Japan by CSK Research Institute. Referred to as Crossing, set for a June release at 6,800 yen, the advertisement emphasizes the game's addictive nature, stating it's the kind of software that will keep you up until morning. Speedball 2 is described as a blend of American football's intensity, basketball's technique, and hockey's strategy, promising a unique and action-packed experience. It's highlighted as the first in a series of overseas masterpieces from the publisher. The image features the game's logo and artwork depicting the cybernetic players in action, reflecting its high-energy, brutal gameplay. This page announces the upcoming release of the role-playing game, Maten no Sumetsu, scheduled for September on the Sega Mega Drive, published by Kodansha Research Institute. The game's narrative centers on the protagonist Alninus, who is tasked by the king, following his father's will, to journey and uncover the cause of the world's growing chaos, and avenge his father. Early in his quest, Alninus reunites with his childhood friend, Risu, who joins him as she searches for her missing brother, a victim of the world's upheaval. The page features illustrations depicting key characters, including the king on his throne, and Alpanus in armor, set within an ornate frame, giving a glimpse into the game's fantasy world. Technical details highlighted include an 8 meg ROM cartridge with battery backup for saves, although the price is still listed as undetermined. This page features striking artwork promoting the Sega Mega Drive RPG Surging Aura. The illustration depicts the protagonist, Alunaz, alongside two other characters within an ornate frame, set against a deep blue and green background. Vertical Japanese text on the right side delivers a dramatic line, "Alunaz, who is that shadow standing behind you?" This powerful tagline hints at the game's narrative themes, likely involving mystery, perhaps betrayal, or the emergence of a significant adversary or hidden force influencing events from the shadows. The artwork captures the anime style prevalent in early 90s Japanese RPGs, and serves as a compelling visual hook for the game. This page features a dramatic illustration for the Sega Mega CD game Detonator Orgun, based on the popular anime OAV series. The artwork shows a key character alongside a powerful mecha in a dynamic pose set against the backdrop of space. The prominent Japanese text serves as a striking headline, teasing the game's themes of crossing space and time. It highlights the game's release on the highly anticipated Mega CD platform. This page is a full-page advertisement for the Sega Mega Drive game Detonator Orgun, highlighting its animated sequences and original story based on the popular OVA series. This page is dedicated to promoting two distinct Sega Mega Drive titles from Microworld. At the top, we see Slime World, an adventure game where players take on the role of a brave galactic explorer navigating worlds filled with unpleasant slime creatures. The artwork shows a character reminiscent of a Ghostbuster, armed and facing off against grotesque, dripping monsters, emphasizing the tagline, "It's melt or be melted." The accompanying text highlights its popularity in America and confirms it is currently on sale. Below, the page features the action game Stormlord. This title is presented with dramatic artwork of a powerful warrior brandishing a glowing sword, hinting at a fantasy setting and intense combat. Described as a hit in America, Stormlord promises a riveting game of strategy, dazzling graphics, and awesome sound effects. Both sections feature the Sega Mega Drive logo and are presented under the banner of Microworld, who are bringing these international hits to Japan. This page unveils Merry-Go-Round the 4th Unit Series, an upcoming title for the Sega Mega CD from Data West. Promoted with the tagline, "Beyond a New Genre," the game is categorized as visual conversation software, abbreviated as VCS, which is described as a type of software allowing interaction with images. The page features striking anime artwork of a red-haired female character, hinting at the game's visual novel or adventure style. Key to the game is Data West's proprietary DAPS, Data West Active Picture System, a technology designed for smooth, continuous playback of animation, dialogue, sound effects, and music from the credrom, almost like video. The page also highlights the DAPS replay feature, which lets players watch the entire game sequence from start to finish without input after completion. For this title, the total playback time using DAPS replay is approximately 45 minutes, suggesting a focused narrative experience. With around 2,500 animation frames mentioned, it aims for a high level of visual presentation. This looks like a fascinating early dive into interactive storytelling on the Mega CD, utilizing the system's keydrom capabilities to push beyond standard game formats. This page features Koei's compelling historical adventure title, Uncharted Waters, making its debut on the Sega Mega Drive. Known in Japan as Daikukai Jidai, this game expertly mixes RPG and simulation elements, a style Koei famously termed recreation games. The page provides a glimpse into the game's world through pixel art screenshots, showing key locations like the guild and tavern within a town, alongside strategic views of the world map and sea voyages. The text promotes the excitement of discovery, treasure hunting, and exploring uncharted lands, positioning it as a rich and engaging experience now available for Mega Drive fans. Also highlighted are other successful Koei titles, Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness, and Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2, along with an announcement for the upcoming Mega Drive version of Royal Blood, showcasing Koei's strong portfolio in historical simulation games. This page features Wonder Dog, a lively side-scrolling action game for the Sega Mega CD, starring the titular character, who serves as the mascot for Victor's Wonder Mega console. The game promises a thrilling adventure that takes full advantage of the Mega CD's power. Expect vibrant graphics with multi-layer scrolling backgrounds, engaging animations for the opening and ending sequences, and a wide variety of over 100 enemy types, including some impressively large ones. Players will guide Wonder Dog through diverse environments, performing actions like running, jumping, digging, and flying in this comical yet action-packed platformer. Developed by Core Design and published by Victor Musical Industries, Wonder Dog was scheduled for a June release, with pricing details yet to be confirmed at the time. Screenshots show varied gameplay scenes highlighting the bright visuals and character designs. This page showcases Grand Slam, the Tennis Tournament 92, a tennis game for the Sega Mega Drive published by Telenet. The page features the game's cover art, depicting a triumphant tennis player raising his racket, symbolizing victory on the court. The text at the top proclaims the player reaching the pinnacle of history and tradition after a heated battle. The game offers several modes for tennis enthusiasts. The player mode allows for creating original players and utilizing a password system to save progress. Practice mode is available for players to hone their skills, offering responses similar to real match situations. Versus mode supports 7 different combinations for singles and doubles matches, even allowing spectating matches between created players. The core of the game is the tournament mode, where players can compete in the world's 4 major tennis tournaments: the All England, Wimbledon, All US, US Open, All France, French Open, and All Australia, Australian Open. Scheduled for release on June 5th, the game was priced at 6,800 yen and comes on a 4 megabit cartridge room. This looks like a solid offering for tennis fans on the Mega Drive, focusing on realistic match types and including the prestigious Grand Slam tournaments. The next page is a grand announcement for the opening or perhaps expansion of Laox, the computer game hall in Akihabara, Tokyo. The striking illustration depicts a futuristic world, the giant game empire, bursting forth from a building, complete with mechs, tanks, flying vehicles, and scenes representing various game genres like baseball, golf, and racing. The text proudly declares that an entire building is dedicated solely to computer games, questioning if such a massive specialty store has ever existed before. It highlights a vast collection of game software from around the world, covering everything from console giants like Famicom, NES, Super Famicom, SNES, Mega Drive, Genesis, and PC Engine, to home computer platforms like PC-98, PC-88, FM Towns, X68000, MSX, IBM, and Macintosh. A floor guide provides a glimpse into the store's layout, dedicating floors to specific platforms and merchandise, including hardware, game software, game goods, music, strategy guides, and video software. The page also features an important announcement for an event, a new title presentation for the popular strategy game series Daisen Ryaku IV, scheduled for May 23rd and 24th on the 6th floor. This page captures the excitement and scope of the gaming scene at the time, showcasing a dedicated retail space catering to the booming market across diverse platforms. This page is the table of contents for the June 1992 issue of BeepMD. It lays out the features and articles within, starting with a new release scramble, P44, catching readers up on recent Mega Drive software like Vixen 357 and Rampart. In the main review section, B-Mega Hot Menu, P61, promises hot takes on titles like Lightning Force IV, Greylancer, and Speedball 2. A special feature, P126, delves into the latest overseas MD situation, offering insights into the Genesis scene in America and Europe. A major highlight is the Shining Force After Effects Special 74, featuring a fascinating dialogue between Dragon Quest creator Yuji Horii and Sega producer Hiroyuki Takahashi, whose photo is prominently displayed. The magazine also covers B-Mega News and Information, P38, including a pre-report on the Tokyo Toy Show. Looking ahead, a substantial Mega CD preview section, P97, introduces upcoming Sega CD games such as Wonder Dog, Prince of Persia, Dark Wizard, and Robo Alesti. The page lists many other regular columns and features, from cheat codes to industry discussions. This page presents the B-Mega Dataland section, focusing on software sales rankings for both the Mega Drive and Game Gear. The main feature is the Mega Drive Software Sales Top 10, analyzing recent trends. Shining Force, the tactical RPG sequel, claims the top spot, noted for the appeal of its diverse characters. Following closely are titles like Cosmic Fantasy Stories on Mega CED, highlighting the growing importance of the CED format with its impressive visuals. Turbo Outrun makes its console debut at number 3, praised for capturing the arcade speed feel. The list continues, with established hits like Sonic the Hedgehog still popular months after release, new action titles like Two Crude Dudes and Pit Fighter, and unique experiences like Troubleshooter, Shadow of the Beast, and the quirky Toe Jam and Earl. The overall trend shows new releases heavily influencing the charts. Additionally, the page includes the Game Gear Software Sales Top 5. Sonic the Hedgehog leads this portable ranking, demonstrating its continued dominance. Other notable Game Gear titles include the adventure game Phantasy Star Adventure, Wonder Boy in Monster World, and the arcade port Alien Syndrome. The list provides a snapshot of the popular games on Sega's handheld system. This page analyzes user demand and shop popularity for Mega Drive/Mega CD games. Users highly desire ports of popular titles like Street Fighter II, Record of Lodoss War, and Princess Maker, showcasing a diverse interest in arcade, PC, and other platform games. The Mega CD is attracting serious port development, with upcoming releases including Thunderstorm, Arcs Y, 2, 2i, and Glock, Air Battle. Shop data reveals Street Fighter II as the top-selling game, F1 Exhaust Note, Terminator 2, Steel Gunner 2, and 64th Street round out the top 5. Steel Gunner 2 is praised for its visuals, and 64th Street for its engaging two-player gameplay. The top 20. Come on! User data section highlights anticipated Mega Drive and Mega CD games. Lunar. The Silver Star for Mega CD leads the rankings with a commanding 185 points, signaling high user expectation. Thunder Force IV, the latest shooter, debuts strongly in second place with 52 points. Seima Densetsu 3x3 Eyes for Mega CD holds third, while Denjin Aleste, Robo Aleste, for Mega CD, and Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco GP2 round out the top 5. The remaining rankings, 6 to 20, feature a diverse selection of titles, including The Heroic Legend of Arslan, Splatterhouse 2, and Afterburner 2i, demonstrating user excitement for various genres. The Softmaker message board, accompanied by a monkey graphic, hosts developer updates. Sega previews upcoming releases for Mega CD, Cameleo Kid, Quiz Scramble Special, and Game Gear, Chow Pro Yakyu, Hyokori Hutanjima, Joe Montana Football. Vari recommends Nakajima Satoru F1 Hero MD. Riot Nippon Telenet delays Mahou no Shoujo Lollipop. Micronet discusses Seizure no Yabu 2's delay. Hot B teases Detonator Organ game. Highlights Lunar, the Silver Star and Naru, while also attending the toy show. Wolf Team mentions Ailroad and Thunderstorm. CSK Sokken's Afterburner 2i is 65% complete. Victor Musical Industries discusses Wonder Mega and confirms Wonder Dog and Prince of Persia development. Kodansha Sukan delays Madu no Suzuse. Shuld Wave hints at a summer project. Kaneko updates on Power Athlete. Sunsoft states Lemmings is complete but delayed. Human announces a Mega CD adaptation of the heroic legend of Arslan. This page presents the new software schedule for Mega Drive and Game Gear. The Mega Drive section lists a wide array of upcoming titles with their planned release dates, prices, and genre/data information, spanning from May through December and beyond into the future. This includes many action, RPG, simulation, and sports titles from various developers. Similarly, the Game Gear section provides a schedule for upcoming releases on the handheld console, detailing titles, dates, prices, and data. In the BeepMD editorial department check section, the editors discuss the upcoming schedule, mentioning the focus on June releases perhaps tied to the toy show. They express excitement about new games from various companies appearing on the list, and tease that there are still unannounced titles or new entrants to look forward to. They highlight the Langrisser 2 announcement and the pleasant news of the first game being re-released in July. They also note the anticipation for new Mega CD titles expected from the following month onwards. This page kicks off the BeepMD Race Review section, where 4 reviewers score new software releases. Games are rated on a 10-point scale, with the average score represented by a number of dogs. Featured this month are Nakajima Satoru F1 Hero MD, an F1 racing title with 3D graphics and new tracks, which received an average score of 6.5 despite some reviewers finding the handling odd and the game difficult. Also reviewed is Chameleon Kid, a transforming action platformer with gameplay compared to Mario or Sonic. Reviewers found its transformations funny and the game enjoyable and not too difficult, giving it a solid average score of 7.0, with one reviewer rating it 8.0. The page also introduces the 4 reviewers who contribute their opinions. This page continues the BeepMD Race reviews, featuring 4 more new software releases rated by the 4 reviewers. First up is Grand Slam, the first tennis game on Mega Drive, featuring the 4 major tournaments and player creation. Reviewers found it easy to pick up and play, accessible even for beginners, though some noted jerky movement and vague ball hitting. It received an average score of 6.75, represented by 8 dogs. Next is Quiz Scramble Special for the Mega CAD, a quiz game featuring thousands of questions and video elements. Reviewers felt the video use was a highlight, but the quiz questions were often obscure, and the overall game felt dated and simple. It scored an average of 5.75, earning 7 dogs. Hyokori Hyotanjima is reviewed next, an action game based on the popular Puppet Show. The core gameplay involves moving an island and avoiding enemies. Reviewers found it simple and easy to play with nostalgic elements, but criticized its lack of originality and short length, giving it an average score of 4.5 or 6 dogs. Finally, the Game Gear version of Joe Montana Football is reviewed. This is a simplified take on the NFL simulation. The review emphasizes that knowledge of American football rules is essential. While condensed from the Mega Drive version, it was considered a decent effort for the platform, suitable for football fans, earning an average score of 5.75, represented by 6 dogs. This page continues the BeepMD Race reviews, kicking off with Aerial Assault for Game Gear. This is the system's first horizontal scrolling shooter, featuring 4 stages where you pilot a fighter against NAC. Reviewers found the gameplay and graphics somewhat dated, noting issues with power-ups and enemy placement, resulting in a low average score of 4.5. Next up is Gyawambura Jiko Chushinpa, a mahjong game based on a popular manga. It features 24 unique opponents, and the reviewers noted it plays more like a mahjong simulation game, with tactics involved against the different character personalities. It scored a respectable 6.75 average. The editorial section comments on the current state of software releases, noting a focus on Game Gear this month, but a lack of truly standout Mega Drive titles, which is a bit disappointing. They look forward to next month, expecting more software including the highly anticipated Lunar. They mention that despite the lower quality this month, games like Chameleon Kid, Grand Slam, and Gyawambura Jiko Chushinpa offer some enjoyment. This page delves into the BeepMD Reader Race, where readers vote and provide feedback on Mega Drive games. It kicks off with the Odds Table A, which ranks games based on the average reader scores, with Shining Force dramatically taking the #1 spot with a score of 9.1724, dethroning Tenkafubu, which dropped to 4th place. Sonic the Hedgehog holds strong at #2. Featured prominently as the expected winner is Shining Force, hailed as a fantastic RPG that captivated readers with its strategic depth, enjoyable characters, and satisfying progression. Reader comments praised the game's events, sound, and graphics, with one noting it surpasses even Dragon Quest in some ways. The Rival Horse section highlights Battlemania, known internationally as Troubleshooter. Readers found it a solid shooter with good graphics and a fun system, although some felt it was a bit short. Crude Buster, released as 2 crude dudes, is also featured, noted as a decent port of the arcade beat-em-up, where throwing enemies is a highlight, though some felt it lacked variety. Finally, a brief mention is given to FZ Senki Axis, or Axis, which is described as a robot action game with a cool atmosphere but somewhat repetitive gameplay and movement. The commentary on the rankings notes Shining Force's impressive debut at the top and the drop of Tenkafubu, highlighting the impact of new releases on the rankings. This page continues the B-Mega Reader Race, presenting more reader-voted rankings of Sega Mega Drive titles from rank 43 downwards. Featured games include Undeadline at rank 55, described as a solid shooting game, though some found it difficult, and wished for more weapon variety. At rank 86 is Frey CD for the Mega CD, noted for having a good story but visuals that lacked animation, and gameplay access concerns. Task Force Harrier X, ranked 126, is considered a decent port of the arcade shooter, though the overall impression of the graphics is felt to be somewhat downgraded from the original. Burning Fist, at rank 130, receives criticism, with comments noting the story/setting was good, but the graphics and BGM were weak, character movement unnatural, and the overall game balance poor. Finally, Heavy Unit, Mega Drive Special, ranked 166, and highlighted as a Miss Horse ticket, was a significant disappointment to readers, with comments calling it boring, despite characters looking interesting at first glance, citing poor controls, combat, and movement. The page also includes commentary on the B-table rankings, noting shifts like Sorcerian's drop, and a section with various short reader comments on different games. This page continues the B-Mega Reader Race, showcasing more rankings based on reader votes for Sega Mega Drive titles. The featured game this month is Super Monaco GP, which holds a strong position in the rankings, demonstrating its popularity. The review highlights the game's impact upon release, praising its quick response and realistic feel, especially when cornering at high speeds. It mentions the challenge of the World Championship mode and the satisfaction of precise control, making it a highly enjoyable racing game. The page also includes reader feedback on Super Monaco GP, with players sharing their experiences. Comments touch on the game's solid quality and the progression of difficulty, although some found the AI drivers in later stages felt unrealistically fast. The graphic shows the distribution of reader votes for Super Monaco GP, indicating significant engagement. The overall ranking list continues, showing games from rank 90 downwards. Notable entries include Tecmo World Cup 92, Gaiars, Shadow Dancer, and Phantasy Star II. The commentary on the ranking chart notes how Shadow Dancer has significantly climbed the ranks, while games like Tecmo World Cup 92 and Exile have dropped. Finally, a short message looks towards the potential sequel, Super Monaco GP2. This page delves into the lower ranks of the B-Mega Reader Race, providing an analysis of reader preferences and market trends. Rankings continue from position 137, offering insight into game performance further down the list. Genre analysis reveals simulation and adventure games with high average scores, while action and puzzle games average lower despite more entries. Adventure games are on the rise, possibly fueled by nostalgia, while RPGs are gaining importance. Market analysis suggests strong interest in simulation and RPG elements, with RPGs predicted to become more prominent, especially with Mega CD titles. Games blending genres are common, but don't necessarily perform better. The page also features commentary on specific game positions, highlighting ranking shifts, and includes reader recruitment and game prediction sections, notably featuring cosmic fantasy stories. This page is all about exciting new video games hitting the scene. It kicks off with a look at Sega's latest developments, focusing on their leap into polygon graphics. They're boasting about rendering 160,000 polygons per second with their new medium-resolution CG engine, showcasing a racing game likely related to what we now know as virtua racing. The realism they're achieving in the car race visuals is truly impressive. They also highlight Golden Axe, the revenge of Death Adder on the System 32. Praising its detailed graphics and calling it a must-see for Golden Axe fans. Next up is Alpha Denshi on the Neo Geo, presenting Ninja Commando. This is a fast-paced, vertically scrolling action game where you battle a time-traveling villain named Spider across 7 stages, choosing from one of 3 distinct ninja commandos. Finally, Irem enters the fantasy realm with their new action shooter, Magical Security Team Gunhoki. Described as a charming game with cute characters, it mixes shooting action with items and power-ups. The world has a unique premise involving the demon world and the lower world, connected by the moon's door. The page gives a brief taste of 3 stages: a ghostly town at night, a treacherous flower garden, and a sky level filled with unusual enemies like giant turtles and ballerina-like creatures. It sounds like a delightful and challenging new title from Irem. This page introduces the BeepMD CM investigation team, a new feature diving into Sega Mega Drive commercials from the past and present. Their first target is the Real Battle commercial for Shining Force, The Legacy of Great Intention, a 30-second spot highly praised by readers. The article breaks down the commercial shot by shot. It starts with a glimpse of Dark Saul's menacing face emerging from darkness, transitions to heroes like Max, Tao, and Hans traversing landscapes, and features stop-motion battles between puppet characters such as Rune Knights and Lizardmen. The sequence seamlessly blends these live-action puppet scenes with actual gameplay footage, showcasing tactical movement on the grid and battle animations. The production notes reveal the commercial was technically challenging and expensive, utilizing extensive stop-motion animation for the puppet characters. They humorously recount difficulties like puppet heads falling off during filming, and the careful consideration put into character and monster design choices. The section highlights the dedication of the staff, many of whom were game fans, in adding intricate details to the costumes and props. Finally, the team puts out a call for readers to share information about any Mega Drive commercials they've seen, promising a gift for those whose tips are used. It seems like a fun, behind-the-scenes look at the marketing of beloved Sega titles. This page kicks off a new feature called Racing Freak Volume 1, dedicated to experiencing the excitement of real-life racing. The inaugural report covers the 1992 Japan Grand Prix motorcycle race at Suzuka. Interestingly, the article mentions Ayrton Senna visiting Sega the day before the race to discuss Super Monaco GP2, expressing a desire for a stronger connection between motorsports and gaming. The new Racing Freak project aims to visit various Japanese circuits like Suzuka, Fuji, Tsukuba, and Sugo to bring the racing atmosphere to readers. The race report details the challenging conditions of the Suzuka GP, which was held in the rain. It highlights the battle between speed and tire grip. The GP1 race saw Michael Doohan dominate and win, while rival Wayne Gardner suffered 2 crashes. The GP2 race featured Luca Capirossi, making a remarkable comeback from 19th place to take the victory. In GP3, Ralph Waldman won after a fierce battle with Casanova, securing the lead in the final laps. The page includes action shots from the races, photos of grid girls, and a pit lane scene, conveying the intensity of the event. A results table for the GP1 race is included, listing the top riders and their times. This page provides a pre-report for the 1992 Tokyo Toy Show, focusing on anticipated software for the Mega Drive and Mega CD. The magazine highlights the event as a key place to see upcoming home console games. A major point of excitement is the playable completed version of Lunar, the Silver Star, with merchandise like a Null plush also expected. The article also details 2 new titles from Game Arts for the Mega CD: Super Sylphide, a 3D shooter leveraging the system's capabilities, and Gyabunbura Jikochushinpa, a mahjong game using voice and scaling features. Sega's own upcoming RPG, Dark Wizard, is also noted as a July release to look out for, praised for its visuals and system. Finally, a small scoop mentions 3x3 Eyes. Sanjian Henjio, noted for its impressive visuals despite a delay. The page is illustrated with screenshots from Lunar, an image of a character likely from Dark Wizard, a scene from 3x3 Eyes, and screenshots of the mahjong game, giving readers a visual taste of these upcoming titles. This page continues the preview of upcoming titles and Sega news. It discusses highly anticipated games expected at the Tokyo Toy Show, including Afterburner 2i and Denon Aleste for the Mega CD, noting Afterburner 2i's realistic 3D scenes and Denon Aleste's potential visual impact. Other new titles mentioned are Thunderstorm, Tenbu Mega CD Special, Isle Load, and Merry-Go-Round. A major focus is placed on Thunder Force IV, which is highlighted as being playable at the Technosoft booth, with the note that it will also be shown at Sega's booth. There's also a fun mention of a chance to win a Null plushie. A significant report details a patent lawsuit in the U.S., where Sega of America was ordered to pay damages, discussing the potential impact on the Genesis's growth in the market. The page features a screenshot from Sonic the Hedgehog, acknowledging its role in the console's momentum, and an image of the Mega Drive with the Sega CD unit attached. This page covers more gaming news, starting with a report on a press conference held by Cry. They announced 3 new software titles, prominently featuring Afterburner 2i for the Mega CD, which is expected to have high anticipation from Mega Drive users. Also announced were Dyna Brothers and Speedball 2. The report includes photos from the press conference showing the setup and attendees, and a screenshot of Dyna Brothers gameplay. There's also a photo of someone playing Speedball 2 at the event. The page then moves to a section titled Game Music, highlighting several new original soundtrack CD releases. These include the latest Konami release for Castlevania, Dracula, a CD for the popular Falcom series Brandish, the soundtrack for Silent Service featuring music inspired by Mozart, a Konami MIDI power collection for the X68000 featuring tracks from games like Parodius and Gradius 2, and the soundtrack for Vilgust, The Girl Who Vanished. The article notes the varied arrangements on these albums, from small ensembles to full orchestras and mid-driven performances, catering to different tastes and showcasing the growing popularity of game music. This page kicks off with news about a dedicated TV game information channel in Osaka, run by Kohyo. They are offering a chance to win one of 75 multi-tuners for viewers who send in a postcard with details. Following this, Levox has opened a new amusement hall in Akihabara, focusing on entertainment, featuring games like those on Mega Drive and PC Engine, along with merchandise and strategy guides, making it a must-visit spot for game enthusiasts. Next up, Koei is releasing 2 new books for gamers. One delves into the history of Zhuge Liang and his challenges, viewed from various angles, and listing historical figures who supported him. The other is titled Declaration of an Adult Gamer, serving as an appendix to the magazine Dengeki, and covering interviews with famous people and visits to software houses aimed at mature gamers. In video news, the second SFX original video, Dai Yogen Fukatsu no Kyoshin, is here. This is a large-scale SF epic about a 4,000 meters tall giant shaking the earth, directed by Yoshiaki Kobayashi, known for tokusatsu shows like Dengeki Sentai Changeman and UCHUU Keiji Gavan. Finally, Philips is launching the CDI player in Japan. This interactive CD media player is gaining attention, especially for consoles, and is priced at 140,000 yen, including the golf game Palm Springs Open. While the software library is currently small, it is expected to grow and become a promising new media format. Lucasfilm Games is releasing 2 highly anticipated adventure games. Monkey Island 2. LeChuck's Revenge, the sequel to the popular first game, puts players back in the shoes of Guybrush Threepwood as he battles the resurrected LeChuck. The game features mouse-controlled gameplay, puzzle solving through dialogue and item use, and a cinematic presentation. While currently available in English on IBM PC, rumors suggest a potential Mega CD release. The other featured game is Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, the 4th game in the Indiana Jones series, based on an original story that was deemed too good to be just a movie ending. Players will join Indy on his quest to find the lost city of Atlantis. Screenshots hint at a globetrotting adventure. More details about Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis will be available in the next issue. This page showcases new software releases for Do/V. First up is The Manhole, a whimsical point-and-click adventure game from Sierra Online, known for its surreal visuals and exploration-focused gameplay, now available on DOS/Versus with mouse control. Next is Shogi by ASC2, a solid Japanese chess simulation designed for players of all skill levels, featuring game saving and match review capabilities. Rounding out the game section is Aces of the Pacific, a detailed World War II flight simulator from Dynamics and Sierra, focusing on the Pacific theater. Players can pilot famous aircraft and engage in dogfights, with historical aces featured. Finally, there's an information section highlighting a DOS/versus driver that expands the screen resolution for Windows and details a reader contest involving creating puzzle games. This page kicks off a new release section, previewing several upcoming games. The main focus is on King Colossus, an action RPG developed by Sega, set for release on June 26, 1992. The article highlights that the game's story and characters are created by Makoto Ojino, the author of the popular Peacock King manga series, suggesting a deep narrative, which the reviewer praises. Gameplay is described as authentic sword action, played from a top-down perspective, drawing comparisons to the Zelda series. Screenshots showcase the title screen, combat against multiple enemies, dialogue scenes with character portraits, and the world map, which is said to be divided into 6 countries featuring arenas and dungeons. The reviewer seems particularly impressed by the story's depth and structure, contrasting it with games that only focus on graphics or map size. Basic controls utilize the A, B, and C buttons for actions including magic. This looks like a promising title for action RPG fans awaiting its completion. Other games listed for this section include Vixen 357, Maten no Sumetsu, Rampart, Tenku Retsuden Musashi, and Dyna Brothers. This page continues the new release scramble section, highlighting 2 more upcoming titles. The first is Vixen 357, a simulation game from Masaya, expected in September. It draws heavily on the expertise gained from the highly regarded Langrisser Warsong series. Vixen 357 is a tactical mech combat simulation featuring a grand story across 16 stages. Characters pilot mechs, with over 40 different types available, and up to 9 characters can participate in a single battle. Leveling up characters enhances their mech performance, including support abilities. The game features both melee and ranged combat options. Screenshots show mech battles and character stats. The second title is Maten no Sumetsu, The Creation Destruction of the Demon Sky, an RPG by Kodansha Susuken, also slated for a September release. Described as a classic fantasy RPG, the story centers on 15-year-old Arunasu, embarking on a journey in a fantasy world. The game utilizes a top-down view and features AI-assisted combat that is user-friendly. A notable feature is a time system, where graphics change based on the moon phase and time of day. Screenshots depict town scenes at night and a dungeon environment. The article suggests the story may be quite dramatic. This page continues the new release scramble section, featuring 2 more titles heading to the Mega Drive. First up is Rampart, a strategy game from Tengen based on the classic arcade title. Expected between June and August, it brings the unique medieval cannon warfare action home. Players build castles and place cannons, then engage in artillery duels against attacking ships. The core gameplay loop involves phases of battle preparation, intense bombardment, and frantic wall repair. Fail to enclose your castle walls before the timer runs out, and you're defeated. It's a tense fight, where destroying all your opponent's cannons or forcing them to surrender is the goal. The game also packs in a competitive 2-player mode, which is where the real fun is often found. Screenshots illustrate the distinct phases: building, fighting, repairing, and preparing for the next round. Following that is Tenku Retsuden Musashi from Kaneko, an action game slated for early October. This is a side-scrolling action title featuring 8-directional movement, focusing on sword combat and jumping. The main character is Musashi, an orphan with a dramatic backstory involving events in the heavenly realm. The game includes various items to aid Musashi, such as health recovery and powerful sword techniques. The developers seem to have put effort into the character designs, giving enemies a distinct and memorable appearance. One particularly striking screenshot shows Musashi riding a dragon, hinting at varied gameplay scenarios beyond just ground combat. This page dives into Dyna Brothers, a real-time simulation game developed by CSK Research Institute and Cree, released on July 24 for 8,800 yen. Don't let its cute appearance fool you, as this game packs a surprising amount of strategic depth. You play as the Egg, a powerful entity capable of laying 5 different types of dinosaur eggs and unleashing natural disasters like lightning and earthquakes. Your goal is to defeat the alien invaders, who also come in 5 types and can use similar catastrophic powers against you. Success hinges on effectively utilizing the egg's abilities and carefully raising your dinosaur army. The key is balancing your forces, particularly the mix of carnivores and herbivores. The article highlights 5 distinct dinosaur types: the attack-type carnivore, a gluttonous chaser; the agile intercept-type carnivore, ideal for guarding eggs; the egg-eater, who happily infiltrates enemy camps to devour their eggs; the defense-type herbivore, surprisingly sturdy despite not laying eggs; and the breeding-type herbivore, weak individually but essential for quickly increasing your numbers early on. The game also features various disasters, like rain, lightning, solar heat, earthquakes, floods, and meteor showers, each with unique effects on the battlefield. Mastering these elements is crucial. The reviewer notes the game's considerable depth and high potential for addiction. This page features a talk-and-talk interview titled, "That's Why I Can't Stop Playing Games," featuring psychiatrist Rika Kayama and Ryuichi Yano. Kayama discusses her early gaming experiences, starting with arcade invaders in high school, initially finding them noisy but getting hooked watching her brother. She spent a lot of time in 24-hour game centers while in university, playing games like the Tower of Druaga. They discuss Sega arcade games, with Kayama mentioning Space Harrier, which she played often but was too shy to play alone. She also recalls physical sensation games and newer arcade titles like Solvaloo and Starblade, seeing Starblade as an evolution of Thunderceptor. Kayama notes how gaming has evolved and suggests ideas like a 3D Dig Dug. The conversation moves to the Mega Drive, which Kayama initially saw as a console for enthusiasts. She mentions feeling shy seeing girls looking at the software section. Her brother was a big influence, letting her play his games, and she really got into the system when Sonic the Hedgehog was released. Regarding the Mega Drive user base, Kayama sees them as not casual players, but those who have played games extensively, perhaps mastered the Famicom, NES, and are now delving deeper into gaming on the Mega Drive. This page features BeepMD, a reader corner. The main content is this month's discussion, which gathers reader suggestions and hopes for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Readers share feedback on the first game and what they'd like to see improved. Points raised include desires for faster progression, more gameplay variety beyond just running straight, brighter music, and indicators for different paths. Suggestions for Sonic 2 stages include more speed-focused designs, creative uses of the environment like walls/ceilings as platforms, and even competitive elements or boss ideas like Sonic vs. Mechasonic. Some radical ideas include changing the perspective to 3D, or allowing players to stop easily. Overall, readers express a desire for increased speed, variety, and atmosphere in the sequel, while appreciating the core speed and character of Sonic. The page also notes that the theme for the August issue will be about the porting or localization of overseas games. This page is the BeepMD Reader Corner, featuring diverse opinions under the banner Games Say Anything. Readers share their thoughts on various titles. One expresses strong disappointment with Cosmic Fantasy, calling it a crappy game due to its dated combat, poor sound design, and lack of feedback on status effects. In contrast, a reader praises Shining Force, highlighting its realistic battle visuals, smooth story progression, and overall addictiveness, though they were sad not to recruit certain characters. They also mention having played a Shining Force game on the Mark II console, which likely refers to an earlier Sega RPG like Shining in the Darkness or Phantasy Star. Other comments touch upon Thunder Pro Wrestling Retsuden, questioning the limited number of wrestlers, with another reader preferring Wrestle War for its better action. There's also a mention of the PC version of Exile. The page also includes an illustration section showcasing fan art for several games, including Cosmic Fantasy, Fighting Masters, Battlemania, Langrissers, and Shining Force. This page features the BeepMD Reader Corner, titled Games Say Anything, where fans sound off on various topics related to Sega and the industry. Readers share diverse opinions, from questions about the release of Phantasy Star IV and issues with the Mega CD drive, to a strong desire for the Mega modem despite hesitation over the limited software library. One reader notes the historical pattern of Sega peripherals falling by the wayside and hopes the Mega modem will avoid this fate, specifically wishing for online play in games like Super Monaco GP2. Others discuss the nature of Mega Drive games, suggesting many are targeted towards a mania or hardcore audience and expressing a desire for more general audience titles, similar to Sonic the Hedgehog. There's also a comparison between the Mega Drive and Super Famicom controllers, with one reader preferring the feel of the latter. The potential for educational software, like English conversation programs using the Mega CD or Wordmaster, is also highlighted as an important area for Sega. The page is also adorned with fan art, including illustrations related to Sonic the Hedgehog, a detailed racing car illustration referencing F1, characters in the style of Game Art's RPGs, potentially Lunar or Grandia, characters from Shining Force, and artwork seemingly inspired by Corruptor. A small queue in a corner also features a reader asking for Mega Drive hints. This page continues the BeepMD section with reader submissions under the theme Bin Bin B Mega Force. Readers share curious observations, like a comparison between a B Mega ad background and an older Radio Control magazine ad, suggesting they might have used the same artwork. Another reader notes the striking similarity between the title logos for Treco's Fighting Masters and Sammy's Super Famicom game Battle Blaze, leading the editor to reveal that Treco was actually Sammy's brand for Mega Drive software, explaining the shared design. Other points include a similarity in military commander poses on gamebox art, and a notable resemblance between the Japanese titles and settings of the Riot/Telenet game Magical Girl Silky Lip and a manga called Magical Angel Milky Lip. The large text suggests this corner might be concluding soon, featuring some previously unused submissions this month. This page features more reader contributions and announcements. At the top left is a fun 4-panel manga strip called MD Kun Theater. There's also an apology for the May issue regarding an error on page 44, where Hot-Blooded High School Dodgeball Club Football Edition was incorrectly listed. The BeepMD submissions continue, outlining different categories for readers to send in their thoughts. These include sections for expressing opinions on games, commenting on the gaming industry, sharing interesting observations and trivia, asking questions about the Sega Mega Drive or third parties, and submitting illustrations. The theme announced for submissions for the August issue is specifically about playing and discussing overseas game releases. The page also announces the winners from the April issue's present giveaway. Various prizes were distributed, including different Mega Drive and Game Gear software titles, special phone cards, and a custom joystick. Lists of the winners by prefecture are provided for the numerous lucky readers. This page features the Sega Falcom Communication section, Act 8, teasing the upcoming first title from the merged company. The main announcement section states the first title will be revealed soon, within a month, and promises it will be something surprising. Accompanying screenshots tease potential candidates. One looks like the Dungeon Crawler Brandish, requested by readers, while another suggests the Legend of Heroes On and 2 from the Dragon Quest series universe, also highly requested. A final panel with question marks hints it could even be a completely original title suitable for the company's debut. Below this, Sega Falcom director Kazutaka Yano continues his column, Ruthless Industry Fall Part 2. He reflects on the challenges within the game industry and the role of game development schools. He recounts attending the Enix Game School entrance ceremony and quotes Chunsoft president Koichi Nakamura, who spoke about the harsh realities of game development, including dealing with bugs, coding issues, and meeting deadlines, encouraging students to maintain their passion. Yakino discusses the balancing act for schools between admitting students and producing skilled professionals, touching on the different paths like game designers, artists, or engineers, and the difficulties in finding employment, particularly as an engineer. He references Dragon Quest versus briefly when discussing dedication. This page is the SF Hotline, a reader feedback section where fans share their thoughts, particularly on desired game ports. The opening message welcomes readers in the spring season. The main topic is requests for games to be ported to the Mega Drive and Mega CD, with a strong focus on titles from Falcom. Readers overwhelmingly asked for the YS series and new RPGs, along with classics like Sorcerian, Lord Monarch, and Dragon Slayer, The Legend of Heroes. Many express a desire for these ports to fully utilize the power of the Mega CD, especially for enhanced graphics and sound, rather than just simple ports to the Mega Drive cartridge format. There are calls for ports to come from the most popular requested titles. Several entries are accompanied by charming fan illustrations, including a character from Sorcerian and characters like Fina from YS. The overall sentiment is excitement for potential Falcom titles on Sega hardware and a hope for high-quality ports that improve upon the originals. This page features the second part of the Pursuit series column by Jam Ojisan, discussing the Sega Mega Drive. The focus is on Sega's growth factors and the challenges faced by third-party developers. The author suggests that the Mega Drive's success is surprisingly fragile due to the competitive market with other consoles like the Super Famicom and PC Engine. A major factor in the Mega Drive's rapid growth was the hit game Sonic the Hedgehog, which utilized the hardware's speed and unique character design to broaden the user base, particularly appealing to a young adult demographic. However, the article points out that some third parties are struggling with distribution and sales on the platform. A reader survey mentioned in the article shows that players are most anticipating titles like Shining Force and Lunar. The author argues that Sega should focus on cooperating with third parties and helping them increase sales, rather than pushing poorly received games like Jewel Master and Sword of Sodan through retail channels, suggesting that valuable third parties might otherwise migrate to the Super Famicom. A screenshot of Advanced Military Commander, a strategy game popular with hardcore fans, is also featured. A chart shows that the magazine's readers are predominantly young Mega Drive users, mainly junior high and high school students. This page features content from Human Entertainment, presenting two distinct titles or services. On the left side, set against a dramatic lightning storm background, is Bloody Hotel, Whispers of the Dead. This appears to be a horror title, describing a fateful trip to a deserted hotel where events driven by envy and jealousy unfold. The voice actor, Tetsuya Yanagida, is credited. The right side, with a lush jungle backdrop, features Jungle Monarch. This title suggests an adventure, detailing a story about someone whose parents were killed, raised by an orangutan in the jungle, and eventually returning to their wild home. Notable voice actors like Akira Kamiya and Kaiko Han are listed among the credits. Below these descriptions is a large phone number, likely a premium rate information service provided by Human Entertainment, offering details related to their games or content. The page also provides contact information for the company's new media planning room in Tokyo. This page features a look inside Senta, a Sega specialty store. Prominently displayed is the store's catchy slogan, Mega CD is Lunar, Mega Drive is Senna. The page highlights Santa's recommendations, including a best 10 list of new releases from April to June, featuring titles like Elysia Dragoon, A Train, and Wonder Dog. There's also a best hits 20 list, with popular games such as Shining in the Darkness, Ghouls and Ghosts, Streets of Rage, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Shining Force. The bulk of the page comprises extensive price lists for a wide range of software and hardware for the Mega Drive, Game Gear, and Master System, including some overseas versions. The store also offers ordering information via phone or fax, including shipping details. This page is all about the Sega Terra Drive, that fascinating collaboration between Sega and IBM that brought PC compatibility and Mega Drive gaming together in one machine. They're showcasing a super special price for the Model 3, set at 118,000 yen, which includes the dedicated color display. You can also see the prices for the Model 1 and Model 2 configurations. More interestingly, they're promoting a game creation contest for aspiring developers using the Terra Drive. This was a cool initiative. The prizes were pretty serious. Trips to the U.S. West Coast, Hawaii, and Hong Kong, plus substantial cash bonuses. There were also prizes of Terra Drive hardware and discount coupons. It was a unique way to encourage software development on the platform. The contest ran through the summer of 1992, with results announced in August. The lower part of the page lists various Tritzone store locations across Japan, including their main Akihabara store, showcasing where you could pick up this cutting-edge, for the time, machine. This page presents a mail-order catalog, featuring a wide selection of games and hardware for multiple systems from the early 90s. You'll find listings for the Super Famicom, PC Engine and its Credrom Squared and Duo attachments, the Neo Geo, Game Gear, Mega Drive, Mega CD, and even the Famicom. It's a fantastic snapshot of the retail landscape at the time. Hardware prices are listed, such as the Super Famicom console for 18,950 yen, the Mega Drive for 11,400 yen, and the Mega CD for 35,900 yen. The catalog provides mail-order prices for a vast library of titles. For instance, on the Super Famicom, you can see listings for games like Final Fantasy IV, known as Final Fantasy II in the US, Super Mario World, and The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. The Mega Drive section includes classics such as Shining Force and Sonic the Hedgehog. The page also details the ordering process, primarily via phone and mail, outlining how to confirm prices, check stock, and make payments via postal transfer. It's explicitly stated that all listed prices include tax, though they note that prices may change depending on market conditions, and that items can sell out. This catalog was issued for the May 1st date. This page kicks off the BeepMD Hot Menu Part 1, featuring previews of upcoming and notable games. The main focus here is on Thunder Force IV, known in the US as Lightning Force. Quest for the Dark Star, a highly anticipated shoot-'em-up from Technosoft. The page confirms its scheduled release for late July 1992 in Japan. The text provides a brief history of the acclaimed Thunder Force series, tracing its origins from the first game to the Mega Drive's Thunder Force 2i. It then introduces Thunder Force IV as the latest evolution, promising to retain the series' core feel while offering even more depth and excitement. A dedicated section highlights stages 1 and 4, offering a glimpse into their near-complete state, showcasing characters and detailed backgrounds. The article touches upon the gameplay, noting the return of weapon switching and the presence of mid-bosses and bosses, features familiar to fans of Thunder Force 2i. Screenshots accompany the text, illustrating the visually impressive graphics, particularly mentioning the clear sky and mountains in one stage, and the detailed ground textures in another. This page builds anticipation for Lightning Force, emphasizing its graphical prowess and continuity with the beloved series mechanics. Other games teased on this page include Satoru Nakajima, F1 Hero MD, Graysner, and Chameleon Kid. The next page continues the deep dive into Lightning Force, Quest for the Dark Star, specifically focusing on the details of Stage 1, set on the visually stunning planet Aquaria. The reviewer notes the beauty of the backgrounds and the impending threat from the Orn Empire. A major highlight is the encounter with the gigantic serpent boss, Pierce, emerging from the sea. Its weakness is pinpointed as its head, although it is described as quite resilient. The lower section of the page introduces the diverse array of enemy characters players will face in Stage 1. The article states there are 7 enemy types in total, with 6 of them previewed here. It praises the distinctive and smoothly animated movements of each enemy, a key element of the Thunder Force series. Featured enemies include aquatic types like Bicky and Bantline, the ground-skimming Niper, the multi-segmented boss Pierce, the green Oct mid-boss, and the formidable Gargoyle Diver with its unique attack and counterattack capabilities. The page emphasizes the excitement of anticipating enemy movements and planning strategies. The next page delves further into Lightning Force, Quest for the Dark Star, starting with a preview of Stage 4. Although Stages 2 and 3 are still in development, Stage 4, being the furthest along, is showcased. This stage takes place in a city that has been turned into a desert by the Orn Empire's attack, featuring detailed visuals and enemies that can hide within the sand. The page also notes the dramatic presentation of large enemy aircraft formations. The lower section shifts focus to the enemy characters encountered in Stage 2. 9 types are featured, including those emerging from the sand and flying through the air. A key characteristic of Stage 2 enemies is their hatching nature, meaning they can produce or summon other characters. The article advises attacking these enemies early for effectiveness. 6 specific enemy types are highlighted with screenshots. Vincent, a sliding-wheeled tank. DD2, a persistent flying attacker. Jirai, a large winged formation flyer. M. Douglas, a high-speed laser unit. Defender 2, which launches from hatches and affects items. And Fomalhaut, the Stage 2 boss characterized by its spherical barrier. Brief summary. This page previews Lightning Force's Stage 4 desert environment and introduces several distinct enemy types from Stage 2, including a boss with a rotating barrier. The next page provides a glimpse into the development progress of Lightning Force, Quest for the Dark Star, revealing that Stages 2 and 3 are also well underway. While still in development, the magazine obtained screenshots showcasing these new areas. Stage 2 is described as a ruined space colony, featuring enemies with heavy armor and a formidable mid-boss equipped with lasers and homing missiles. Stage 3 takes place in an explosive environment. The page also serves as a weapon guide, highlighting the series' signature powerful arsenal. Returning weapons from previous titles are detailed, including the versatile twin shot and backshot, which can be powered up into the close-range blade and the rear-attacking railgun respectively. Other familiar weapons like the wall-crawling snake, auto-targeting hunter, protective claw, and damage-absorbing shield are also mentioned. A new weapon, the freeway, is introduced, uniquely firing normal shots forward while simultaneously launching 5 missiles backward, emphasizing that mastering these tools is key to success. This page dives into Nakajima Satoru F1 Hero MD, a racing game for the Mega Drive that puts you right into the 1992 Formula One season. The game uses authentic data from that year, including tracks like the South African Grand Prix Kyalami, letting you tackle the season championship. Success isn't just about speed. You'll need to adjust your car based on track conditions and weather, and even employ race tactics like focusing on finishing races for points. Beyond the main Grand Prix mode, the game offers time attack for chasing those perfect lap times, complete with a split-screen mode for 2-player competition. There's also a practice mode, where you can race against a selection of drivers, even if their names might be slightly tweaked, on your favorite tracks. A standout feature highlighted here is the in-game commentary and advice from Satoru Nakajima, Japan's pioneering Formula One driver. He appears on course introduction screens to share strategies, offering insights that draw from real-world driving, even commenting on how his advice applies differently, depending on whether you're using manual or automatic transmission in the game. The page showcases various screenshots, displaying real and fictional circuits with graphics that adapt to each location, offering a challenging and visually changing race experience across the globe. This page details the core experience of Nakajima Satoru, F1 Hero MD. The demanding annual championship mode. Starting your career as a rookie F1 pilot, you begin in the lowest-ranked team, challenging 16 races each year against 7 rivals. Success means earning driver points, and critically, finishing in the top 3 of the overall season standings is required for promotion to the next ranked team for the following year. Each race weekend is a 2-part affair. First, a 3-lap qualifying session, where your best lap time sets your starting position on the grid. Then, the main race, typically 10 laps long, though it varies by track, where you battle the 7 rivals. Careful car setup is essential, as parts can reach their limit during the race. The display shows crucial information like your current lap, best lap, and position. Successfully completing the race means you see the "Goal in" message and earn points. The game features 16 teams in total, divided into 4 ranks, D, C, B, A. 4 teams per rank. You start in D and climb the ranks by consistently finishing in the top 3 of the annual championship points. Teams in higher ranks, like the ranked teams resembling real-world powerhouses such as Williams and McLaren, offer tougher competition, but are necessary to eventually claim the ultimate championship. It's a test of endurance and skill, requiring patience and using the game's password system to manage progress over many virtual seasons. This page delves into the critical car setup process in Nakajima Satoru F1 Hero MD, explaining that mastering the machine's configuration is just as important as driving skill for victory. It outlines 6 key items you need to adjust: transmission, engine, wing, tires, suspension, and brakes. Each item has multiple options, forcing you to balance performance boosts against reduced durability. The article stresses that simply picking the highest-spec parts isn't always the best strategy due to wear and tear. It highlights 4 main factors influencing your setup choices: the type of circuit, high speed or technical; the weather conditions, affecting tire choice; the length of the race, demanding more durability on longer tracks; and even your personal driving skill. The page includes screenshots showing the game's setup interface and displays. A large image of an F1 car, likely a Tyrrell, is also shown. The text emphasizes the importance of careful part selection, noting that issues like tire wear are common causes of race retirement. This page features the classic side-scrolling shooter, Gleely Lancer. It provides an overview of the game, highlighting its varied environments, from space to underwater and icy landscapes, and the crucial role of the unique gunner or mover system. The game allows players to choose from 7 distinct gunner types before starting, emphasizing that mastering their usage is key to success. The page details each of the 7 types, Normal, standard directional fire. Reverse, fires in the opposite direction of movement. Search, targets enemies automatically. Multi, fires in multiple directions. Multi-reverse, multi-directional fire opposite to movement. Shadow, fixes position behind the ship. And roll, rotates around the ship. Screenshots show the title screen, the mover select menu, and in-game action demonstrating the varied weapon fire patterns. The article encourages players to try all types to find one that suits their playstyle, noting that while environments are diverse, they don't impede visibility of enemies or bullets. It presents the gunner system as the game's defining feature, offering significant strategic depth. This page delves deeper into the mechanics and story of Glee Lancer, following the introduction of the mover system. It highlights the importance of choosing the right weapon for the situation, detailing the 7 distinct weapon types available through the gunners. These include the standard normal shot, the penetrating laser, the terrain bouncing bound, the wide area 5-way, the close-range burner and saber, and the explosive spread. The page emphasizes that understanding these weapons is key to survival. It also provides a brief overview of the game's plot, where the protagonist Lucia pilots the Glee Lancer to rescue her father who was warped away during an alien invasion. Screenshots showcase various stages up to the 3rd, including space, underwater, and cave environments, giving a taste of the diverse levels and some challenging enemy encounters players will face. The article reinforces the strategic depth provided by the mover system and the varied level design. This page dives into the colorful world of Chameleon Kid, a unique action game from Sega released in May 1992. The core concept revolves around the protagonist Chameleon Kid, who isn't just using camouflage like a real chameleon, but can transform into various forms to tackle challenges. The game's premise is introduced through the kid himself, explaining how children are going missing after a mysterious arcade machine called Wildside appears in town, prompting him to investigate. The page details key gameplay mechanics. Transformation is achieved by finding special helmets hidden within blocks, often marked with a P. Picking one up instantly changes the kid's form. The basic attack method is consistent across forms, stomping on enemies. The controls are straightforward, featuring buttons for jumping, increasing speed, and executing special moves depending on the current transformation. Players can customize button assignments in the options menu. Beyond standard abilities, collecting diamonds dropped from blocks allows for powerful super attacks, the type of which changes based on the kid's current form and the number of diamonds gathered, hinting at strategic depth that will be further explained later. Screenshots showcase the kid grabbing a helmet, the special P's block, the arcade exterior, and some of the transformations in action, like climbing walls as a tank, giving a good overview of the game's visual style and mechanics. The next page continues the exploration of Chameleon Kids, detailing the diverse transformations and helpful items available. It showcases numerous forms the kid can take, such as the wall-climbing Iron Kid, the bomb-throwing Tank Kid, and the Swift Jet Kid on a hoverboard. Each of these distinct forms possesses unique HP values, standard abilities, and powerful special moves that consume collected diamonds. The page also covers essential items found in the game. Diamonds serve as the energy source for these special techniques. Other crucial pickups include the clock, which extends the time limit, the player icon, granting extra lives, and coins, providing continues. Mastering the use of these items alongside transformations is emphasized. Players are also rewarded with various bonuses upon clearing rounds, including points for speed, not collecting items, remaining time, and efficient movement. The game is structured into 4 stages, each containing multiple rounds and challenging bosses that require strategic use of transformations to defeat. Screenshots illustrate gameplay with different forms and a confident message from the Axe Kid boss. The next page showcases a fantasy role-playing game for the Mega Drive, highlighted by vibrant artwork depicting a mystical landscape with floating islands, a large glowing crystal formation, and a dramatic sky. The prominent Japanese text carries a thematic tagline, translating to, "The path left is to fight. That was the fate of the little witch." The page includes 2 in-game screenshots. The image on the left shows a visual novel-style scene featuring the protagonist, Saria, by a tree with an open book, indicating a prologue or story event. The text below confirms this is an episode telling the protagonist Saria's involvement in an incident. The screenshot on the right displays standard overhead RPG gameplay, showing a character in a dungeon or town area with a user interface. The accompanying text describes this as a conversation scene and notes how the fantasy setting enhances the game's atmosphere. This game is Magical Story, Yotsu no Honju, a Japanese exclusive Mega Drive RPG known for its multiple distinct scenarios, one of which focuses on a young witch named Saria, aligning perfectly with the tagline. The page provides a glimpse into the game's world and its narrative presentation. The next page introduces Twinkle Tale, a fantasy shooting game from Wonder Amusement Studio, marking their impactful debut title on the Sega Mega Drive. The page prominently features the game's protagonist, Saria, a young witch ready for adventure. Screenshots demonstrate the core gameplay, highlighting simple controls including one-button switching between 3 weapon types. The fantasy world is filled with diverse monsters, and the game boasts visually impressive graphics, utilizing 8 megabits. Powerful magic spells are shown, capable of clearing the screen, such as the Fire Dragon attack and Penetrating Light Bullet. One image showcases a detailed lava cavern stage. The page also includes information on the game's release, noting a date change to July 24th with a price of 7,800 yen, excluding tax. This is a solid introduction to a promising overhead shooter. This page delves into the worldwide impact of the Mega Drive, specifically looking at the scene in America and Europe through their respective game magazines. It highlights a feature on the American magazine Mega Play, providing details like it being a bi-monthly publication costing $3.95 with a circulation of up to 200,000 copies. The page includes an interview with the magazine's editor, Edward Semrad, who discusses the competitive landscape between the Genesis and Super NES in the U.S., noting Sega's aggressive pricing strategy and the current strong performance of the Genesis, despite Super NES's strong marketing push. He emphasizes Megaplay's policy of delivering the freshest information rapidly and expresses deep respect for the Japanese game industry and players, highlighting the popularity of their Made in Japan feature. The page also shows the cover of a Megaplay issue featuring the Terminator, along with screenshots and review scores for games like Golden Axe 2, Rolling Thunder 2, and Joe and Mac, offering a glimpse into how these titles were received in the American market compared to Japan. This text explores the French video game magazine scene, focusing on Consoles Plus and Megaforce. Consoles Plus is a monthly publication with a circulation of 100,000, known for game introductions, reviews, and strategy guides. The editor highlights the Mega Drive's popularity, especially among younger players, with Sega France aiming to sell over 550,000 units. Megaforce is a bi-monthly magazine with a circulation of 110,000 and international editions. It heavily features the Master System, Mega Drive, and Game Gear. The magazine's content includes reviews and a parade section for various platforms. The text also includes a message of shared passion for video games across cultures. This page delves into the UK Sega magazine scene, focusing on Sega Force. This monthly publication, with a circulation of over 100,000 copies, is priced at £1.95. It details the status of the Mega Drive in the UK, mentioning strong sales and the prevalence of imported consoles modified to play games from all regions. The magazine's policy is to cover as many released games as possible, scoring UK titles while introducing imports via an advanced play section before scoring them upon official release. Reviews are typically composed of comments from 2 critics, aiming for fairness. The magazine also features unique illustrations inspired by anime like Akira, created by notable computer magazine illustrator Oliver Frey. The editor shares a long history with gaming, starting in 1984 across various platforms, and emphasizes the growing connection between international game cultures facilitated by titles like Mega Drive games and the magazine itself. The page also includes a chart of popular games like Sonic the Hedgehog, Streets of Rage, and Donald Duck, and features a section highlighting the Master System game Phantasy Star. The article notes the high price of cartridges in the UK market. This page is part 2 of the latest Genesis game software guide, continuing the exploration of overseas titles. It highlights the growing trend of games from developers like Electronic Arts, Microprose, Virgin Games, and Arena making waves, particularly via import, as the Genesis and Mega Drive share compatibility, despite many overseas titles not seeing official Japanese release. The main focus is Virgin Games' The Terminator. Multiple screenshots showcase this side-scrolling action game. The review praises its graphics for faithfully capturing the movie's atmosphere in the backgrounds and the smooth character animation. The gameplay involves standard action mechanics across 4 stages, utilizing simple controls for jumping, attacking, and crouching. The reviewer notes the action, especially the shotgun, feels just like the movie, and the faithful storyline development will please fans. They commend the game's overall direction, music, and tempo, calling it a unique type not often found in Japan, and express hope for a local release. While acknowledging the huge popularity of Terminator 2, the article introduces this game based on the original film, noting its own merits and the previous film's impact, particularly its use of CG. The next page continues the Overseas Genesis Game Guide, showcasing 2 more import titles and an American sales chart. First up is Electronic Arts F-22 Interceptor, a sequel to the popular F-18 Interceptor. This flight simulator features complex missions, with numerous targets and objectives. The review highlights the game's fast pace, achieved by cutting out the autopilot sequences between objectives, keeping the tension high. Screenshots show the cockpit view, external views, and missile engagements, emphasizing features like mid-air refueling and carrier operations as key highlights. Below that is the duel, Test Drive 2 by Accolade. Described as a sequel to the original Test Drive, this game is less about pure racing and more about cruising on public roads, complete with the risk of getting a ticket for speeding. The game features a selection of exotic cars like the Porsche 928, Ferrari F40, and Lamborghini Diablo, allowing players to choose their ride and experience different cockpit views and atmospheres. Finally, the page includes a brief look at the American Genesis Top 10 sales chart from March. This chart, sourced from a U.S. distributor, reveals a strong preference for action and shooting games in the U.S. market, contrasting sharply with Japanese trends, and suggesting the Japanese developers should pay attention to these preferences for overseas releases. The top games listed include titles like Donald Duck, Castle of Illusion, and Monster World 2i. This page continues the Overseas Genesis Game Guide, featuring 3 more distinct titles. First up is Corporation from Virgin Games, a real-time, first-person action RPG with a strong sci-fi feel. The review notes its 3D dungeons and complete lack of command selection during battles, making it feel more like an action game despite its RPG roots. It highlights the cool, futuristic items as a key appeal. Next is D&D Warriors of the Eternal Sun by Sega. This is a more traditional, party-based RPG, seen from a top-down perspective, exploring an open world without distinct boundaries between towns and wilderness. The reviewer points out that the exploration view is mostly fixed, but transitions to a 3D display when entering underground areas. Below that is Bulls vs. Lakers from Electronic Arts, a competitive basketball simulation with a versus mode. The game is praised for its smooth character animation, varied actions, and simple controls. A standout feature is the replay function, which allows players to review highlights with options like reverse, frame by frame, and fast forward. Finally, a section dedicated to overseas computer games is included, discussing titles like World Circuit/Grand Prix by Microprose, available on IBM PC, Amiga, and Atari St. Described as a realistic Fry 1 simulation of the 1991 season, it's noted for its blend of hardcore simulation and user-friendly elements, recommended as a masterpiece race game. Many games migrated from these platforms to Genesis, so this section highlights their importance. This page focuses on the unprecedented release of multiple strategy guides for Shining Force, the legacy of great intention on the Genesis. It highlights the unusual situation where, unlike most Genesis games which might only get one guide, Shining Force saw 4 different strategy books published by different companies, plus a special setting material collection book available through pre-order campaigns. The article includes comments from the publishers of these guides, Tokuma Shuten, ASC2, Shogakukan, and Futabasha, each discussing their approach. Some focused on general game flow and events, others on detailed data like character growth curves, and some included battle maps, reflecting diverse takes on covering the tactical RPG. 3 of the strategy guides are reviewed, commenting on their design, readability, information density, depth, and value. Noteworthy points include guides that covered recruiting secret characters like Gort and Hans, different levels of detail in maps or event walkthroughs, and the inclusion of a music CD with one guide, making it more expensive. The reviews offer perspective on which guides might be best for different players based on their focus. The page also features images of the guides and some game screenshots. This page delves into the world of strategy guides, specifically questioning if a perfect strategy guide is a myth, and exploring the purpose they serve, particularly in light of the unusual phenomenon of multiple guides being released for Shining Force. The legacy of great intention on the Genesis. It features comments from 4 magazine publishers: Famitsu Tsushin, MegaDrive Fan, BeepMD, and Hip and Super, each offering their perspective on creating these guides and the competitive landscape. The page then reviews 2 of these guides. The Futabasha Guide is presented as a traditional strategy book, focusing on game walkthroughs and maps, receiving star ratings for design, readability, spoiler density, depth, and value. The ASC2 Guide, edited by Famitsu Tsushin, is highlighted as focusing more on the game's lore and setting details, also with star ratings. The page includes images of the guide covers and game maps, offering a look at how these different publications tackled guiding players through this popular tactical RPG. This page features a special talk between 2 legendary game creators, Yuji Horii, known for Dragon Quest, and Hiroyuki Takahashi, the producer of Shining Force, The Legacy of Great Intention. The introduction highlights that Takahashi looks up to Horii as a master of game design, and they've gathered to discuss Shining Force and game development insights. The conversation begins by recounting how they first met, which was during the development of Dragon Quest II and IV. Takahashi was working at Enix, handling debugging, and Horii was impressed by the rigorous feedback he provided. They then discuss Horii's impressions of Shining Force. He mentions he is still playing but finds it interesting, though he notes some parts were challenging, such as the inability to check detailed character stats when in town. The discussion shifts to game design philosophy, particularly the concept of character revival after defeat. Horii's influence is noted here, as his approach often allows players to recover from losses, contrasting with harsher systems like those in Wizardry. Horii emphasizes his policy of designing games so that players aren't completely stuck and can reach the ending, ensuring that effort is rewarded. Takahashi acknowledges this influence. The page includes a screenshot from Shining Force, showing a tactical battle scene. Yuji Horii and Hiroyuki Takahashi discuss the development of Shining Force. Horii, enjoying the game, is in Chapter 1, while Takahashi highlights key battles like those at the circus tent and Shade Church, emphasizing the combat design. They recall Horii's early, humorous defeat due to being cornered. Takahashi, new to simulation games, credits a question from Horii for the turn-based system design. Developing the AI was a challenge, and the development process was intense. Horii notes his preference for engaging games, while Takahashi found merging RPG and simulation elements, like character growth and strategic combat, particularly rewarding. The conversation reflects their collaboration and the challenges of game design, drawing on Takahashi's experience from working with Horii on Dragon Quest. This page continues the discussion with Yuji Horii and Hiroyuki Takahashi. They talk about what makes a game feel major, emphasizing the importance of creating a world where players feel like they belong. Horii discusses the challenge of making players feel immersed, while Takahashi reflects on the expansive world building of the Dragon Quest series, contrasting the hero's initial feeling of being a stranger with becoming a true resident in Dragon Quest versus. They touch on the development process, including balancing design elements and the effort involved in system creation. The conversation concludes by asking about their future projects. Takahashi confirms that Horii's next work is widely anticipated, likely Dragon Quest V, and shares his own excitement for it. Takahashi then reveals that his own next game is in development, with strong programming, and hints that while they continue working on Shining Force, touching on RPG and simulation elements, their next specific title might be an adventure game. He mentions the game will utilize 16 mega, promising high quality, but keeps further details secret. This page features an article by Hiroyuki Takahashi, where he discusses the challenges of game development, specifically focusing on making the industry more interesting. He reflects on the process starting 2 years into Climax's existence, and explores different design approaches, like horizontal versus vertical scrolling. Before delving into the possibilities of 3Ds, Takahashi highlights the difficulty and the epoch-making effort involved in creating the town and castle systems for 3D RPGs, implying this relates to the development of the Shining series. The page also introduces new staff members joining both Climax and Sonic software planning. These include Mochizuki Mizuho working on Sonic graphics, Takahashi Hidego, hinted to be President Takahashi's son, joining as a Sonic producer, and Okada Naoko at Sonic, described as a hardcore Ultima fan saving up for game hardware. A humorous note mentions the new recruits are expected to buy copies of Shining Force and Shining and the Darkness to support the company. The page includes a screenshot that appears to be from a first-person dungeon crawler, likely Shining and the Darkness. This page features an article about Hiroshi Naito participating in the Tamiya RCF-1 Grand Prix race held at the Honda parking lot in Akiyama. The event took place in March under extremely cold conditions, almost turning to snow. Despite the tough weather, Naito, along with his team member and mechanic Sasaki, proudly secured 6th place out of 30 participants. The article describes Naito's performance, overcoming some trouble during the 25-lap final race after a strong qualifying result. There's also a brief, humorous mention about attempting to recruit campaign girls for the event, though none applied. Below that, in a section titled Hiroshi Naito's Here We Go, Naito shares a personal anecdote about a trip driving to a parking lot near MT Fuji late at night. He describes waiting for someone referred to as Seven and reflecting on past cars he's driven, including a Civic, NSX, and Beat. The story concludes with a lighthearted warning about speeding and traffic accidents, signed off with a quip. Overall, the page covers both Naito's RC racing endeavor and a glimpse into his personal travels and reflections. This page features several distinct columns. The top section presents Professor Tagawa's Weekend Space Trip, a narrative detailing a fictional journey to Mars, where the professor discovers and returns a tricycle belonging to an ancient Martian civilization. To the right, there's a brief introduction to a book titled On the Shore by Neville Shute, part of the Saujin Mystery Bunko series. The bottom section is titled Taguchi/Dugan's Sayings Exit, which appears to be a reader contribution corner. It features various short sayings and phrases submitted by readers from different prefectures. The column discusses these submissions and mentions that accepted entries will receive a prize, described as a wonderful commemorative item, even better than something related to Sonic. This section serves as a lighthearted interlude, featuring reader engagement rather than a game review. This page is the Sonic 2 Mania section, a place for reader contributions and magazine commentary. It opens with a cheerful note about the month of May and the volume of mail received. The page is adorned with various small manga strips and illustrations, likely reader submissions or staff comics, often signed with pseudonyms or locations, some potentially referencing Sega games like the tactical RPG displayed near the text mentioning Blaze, likely referencing Shining Force characters or gameplay. A prominent section is the Zu no Ana, Elephant's Hole corner, dedicated to game design ideas. It highlights increasing reader participation and the difficulty in selecting entries, awarding points to several contributors. The discussion delves into critiquing reader submissions, mentioning concepts for games like Fairy Tail and Monster World, emphasizing the importance of world building, game systems, and keeping players engaged rather than just focusing on drawing skill, although that is also acknowledged. This corner serves as a platform for aspiring game designers. Finally, there's a segment focused on the popular tactical RPG Shining Force, stating that owning one copy per person is now standard. It encourages players to develop their own unique playstyles. The section concludes by announcing a character popularity poll for Shining Force, asking readers to send in their favorite party members and characters with reasons, promising to publish the results based on postcard submissions. The sign-off for the next issue is Hasta la vista, baby! This page features the 5th installment of the Portraits of Adventurers series, titled Stars, Wind, and People. It presents a profile of Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, the renowned author of The Little Prince, and an aviator who lived from 1900 to 1944. The article delves into the perilous world of early aviation, highlighting the night sky as an unknown frontier, and the constant struggle faced by pilots against unforgiving weather and primitive technology. It connects Saint-Exupéry's life as a pioneer in establishing commercial air routes to his philosophical writings, explaining how his flights were a quest to understand humanity's path forward and avoid being crushed by mechanical progress. The piece emphasizes his deep love for humanity and his frustration with modern civilization, themes woven through his works like Night Flight and Wind, Sand, and Stars. Saint-Exupéry's life is portrayed as one of continuous hardship but also profound meaning, culminating in his final flight in 1944, where he was shot down, much like the fate he described for characters in his books, leaving his final resting place unknown, mirroring the mysterious disappearance of the Little Prince. While not featuring a game, this article highlights a real-life adventurer whose spirit of exploration and contemplation resonates with the themes of many classic Sega titles. This page of Sims Communication Volume 2 covers a recent event and updates on upcoming titles. It highlights a lavish game announcement party held on March 26th aboard a cruise ship departing from Tokyo's Takeshiba Pier. Attended by various game magazine editors and Sega staff, Sims unveiled 3 new projects while cruising Tokyo Bay. The revealed titles included Capcom's Quiz Tonosama, a game tentatively titled Cyber Road, and Armor of Shooting Star. A humorous anecdote notes someone almost missing the boat, underscoring the unique venue. A significant moment was the presentation of a thank you letter from Sega, acknowledging Sims' excellent consumer software development. The page then dives into the production status of these games. It announces that Cyber Road has been officially renamed Junkers High, confirmed as a near-future racing game with concept art shown. Development is reportedly progressing smoothly, with 2 titles slated for release this summer and 1 towards the end of the year. Updates are also provided on Capcom's Quiz Tonosama and VE, both planned for the Mega CD. Quiz Tonosama is said to include elements beyond the arcade version, and a character profile screenshot is featured. Character designer Masahiro Kitahira is involved in VE, heightening anticipation for its visuals. It seems Sims is hard at work preparing a solid lineup for the year. This page of the Sims Communication column continues its dangerous series by revealing secrets. This month, the focus includes clarifying Sims' development role for the Mega Drive version of Outrun, confirming they handled the program and art, not just Sega, as some believed. More excitingly, they expose a hidden Hyper Options mode in Outrun, accessible via a specific button sequence on the title screen, A 11 times, B 3 times, C 8 times, allowing players to access debug-like settings such as stage selection and mode toggles. The page also features a special edition of the Capcom's Quiz Tonosama quiz, presenting a visual challenge based on a screenshot from Fantasy Zone gear, requiring readers to find differences for a chance to win prizes. A humorous manga strip featuring Quiz Tonosama characters is included. Finally, the column encourages readers to send in postcards with illustrations, manga, or questions to be featured. Pre-Story Volume .2 unveils the backstory of a future shaped by biotechnology and a leaked retrovirus. Faced with pressure to release virus data, the International Institute of Hygiene disbanded its staff self-monitoring globally. The narrative centers on Takagawa, a Japanese researcher driven by a vision. He created a powerful virus and built a moon base, overcoming obstacles to develop agents for planetary modification. Takagawa died before launch. 10 years later, an unmanned spacecraft carrying his modified viruses is sent to Avalon to begin terraforming. The page also solicits player character name suggestions, hinting at insect or fish-type player crafts, reflecting the game's themes of biotechnology and environmental adaptation. This page showcases the grotesque enemies players will face, born from the retrovirus discussed previously. The illustrations depict monstrous, mutated deep-sea creatures, including jellyfish-like beings, and a fearsome, multi-toothed manta ray aberration. The text explains how the virus doesn't always improve creatures. It often causes detrimental, unpredictable changes like developing useless teeth or excessive aggression, even turning them against their own kind or larger prey. However, some individuals undergo drastic, bizarre transformations that allow them to adapt, gaining abilities like dissolving organic or artificial matter, becoming the hostile threats on Avalon. The narrative continues the backstory, detailing the manned mission to Avalon launched years after the unmanned probe. This risky expedition, seen by some as suicidal, involved volunteers selected through a rigorous process, including genetic screening. Among them is James, the son of Takagawa, the virus's creator. James worked in virus research and was crucial to the mission. The page describes the mission's launch from a moon base, using the ship Excalibur, with James and the crew in cold sleep, heading towards the virus-altered world of Avalon. This page features an interview with Konami game musician Motoaki Furukawa, conducted by Ukulele Ino. This installment is announced as the final one in the series. Furukawa, known for the sound design in numerous Konami arcade games, including recent titles like Zexex, discusses his work. He mentions focusing on original music for his solo albums, such as his second album, Sound Locomotive, The conversation also covers his past experience in bands and collaborations with artists like Korakata and Malta. Furukawa expresses his ongoing connection to the guitar and notes that his solo work feels different from game music. The interview highlights his perspective as a musician working both in the game industry and on personal projects. The article, Multimedia Proclamation, announces the March 20th release of the multimedia adventure game Lil Zone for Macintosh and PC-98GS. Written by Abi Mokubyakudu, the piece introduces L-Zone as an interactive theater experience, prioritizing atmosphere and artistic vision over traditional gameplay elements. It's compared to Spaceship Warlock, but distinguishes itself through low puzzle content, high image quality, and the artist's distinct worldview. L-Zone is set in a ruined dead tech metropolis on a distant planet, featuring detailed indoor environments navigated via a mouse-driven interface. The game utilizes CD-ROM technology and high-quality 3D images. Developed using Macromind Director 3.0 instead of traditional programming, Lil Zone was released simultaneously in Japan, the US, UK, and Germany. The article suggests multimedia tools could democratize game creation, potentially reviving the success seen in the early PC gaming era. This page presents a reader survey designed to gather information on the audience of the magazine. It details how to fill out the accompanying postcard, using a mark sheet style for most questions, requiring the reader to fill in circles corresponding to their answers. The survey covers a range of topics, including basic demographics like gender and age, as well as school or occupation. It delves into gaming habits, asking how many Mega Drive games the reader owns and how much time they spend playing console games daily. It also inquires about other computer game magazines the reader reads frequently. A significant portion focuses on the magazine itself, asking readers to identify articles they found either interesting or not interesting from a provided list. Finally, the survey asks the reader to choose one game from a numbered list of over 80 titles that they are most interested in buying next. This list includes both Mega Drive and Sega CD games, featuring titles like Thunder Force IV, Shinobi 2i, Glaylancer, Lunar, The Silver Star, Dark Wizard, and Vey, offering a snapshot of popular and anticipated games at the time. The inclusion of titles like Ninja Gaiden on this list is intriguing, suggesting interest in either a potential port or the series within the Mega Drive ecosystem. The Mega CD Press section previews upcoming Mega CD titles, with a spotlight on Prince of Persia. While retaining the original gameplay of rescuing the princess, the Mega CD version boasts significant enhancements. New, original animation sequences grace the opening and ending, showcasing the platform's capabilities. The CD-ROM audio provides a richer experience with over 10 tracks, far exceeding the limitations of internal sound sources. Screenshots highlight the game's fluid gameplay and feature scenes from the enhanced opening animation, including Jafar and the princess. The article emphasizes the game's immersive atmosphere and the added depth the animation and audio contribute to the already realistic world. The section also previews a diverse lineup of other Mega CD games, spanning action, RPG, strategy, adventure, racing, and shooter genres. This page features a special interview with Mr. Honda from Victor Entertainment's new media division, discussing their venture into Mega CD titles. The main focus is on Wonder Dog, a character chosen to represent the Wonder Mega hardware and developed as a family-friendly action game. Mr. Honda details how the character was selected and future plans for merchandise like plush toys and stickers. He highlights the technical improvements in Wonder Dog, specifically utilizing CD audio for all stages and employing multi-scrolling techniques to create depth, especially in aerial scenes. The game also features hundreds of distinct enemy characters. The interview touches on Victor's strategy to develop titles around Crydrom technology, leveraging their background as a record company, and even hints at the possibility of a Wonder Dog 2, which is already in preparation. The article also mentions Victor is bringing other significant titles to the Mega CD, such as Dungeon Master and Indiana Jones, part of a lineup of 20 titles. It notes Victor's collaboration with UK developer Core Design, highlighting their success with titles like Corporation, Chuck Rock, and Thunder Force. Victor Entertainment outlines its Mega CD strategy, focusing on popular series and original titles. They are developing a new Dungeon Master trilogy, with the first title, possibly Skullkeep, expanding on the SFC version with enhanced environments and AI. They are also collaborating with Lucasfilm Games on interactive movie titles, including a game based on The Secret of Monkey Island and an Indiana Jones adventure featuring historical figures, with a potential fourth film adaptation also being considered. Collaborative works with core design on unique RPG and action games are planned. The fourth line involves original series titles, with details confidential. Victor aims for worldwide development, collaborating with companies like JMI and JME, and anticipates releasing around 20 titles soon, with major releases planned by the end of 1994. Screenshots of Dungeon Master 2 and Monkey Island 2, plus Indiana Jones artwork, are shown. This page provides an update on Victor Entertainment's Mega CD action game, Wonder Dog. Development is progressing well, and the reviewer notes the game is a welcome addition to the Mega CD library, which currently lacks many action titles. The large capacity of the CD allows for features like an anime opening sequence, likely showing the protagonist, Joey, arriving on Earth from his home planet, Wangel. The core gameplay is also described as substantial. The article focuses on Stage 3, highlighting its distinctively bizarre and warped backgrounds, and the equally strange and crazy enemies found there. Gameplay elements featured include using springy sofas for high jumps, with a warning about potential enemies above, avoiding dangerous rolling tires on slopes, and dealing with persistent bird enemies that dive-bomb the player. The page conveys anticipation for this unique action title. This page continues the preview of Victor Entertainment's Mega CD title, Wonder Dog. It emphasizes the importance of items in the game, mentioning various power-ups and point-boosting items, including over 10 types of weapons. Highlighted items include bones, which award a 1-up for collecting 100, wings enabling Joey's flight ability, and different colored crystals, blue, green, red, granting increasing point values up to 5,000. The article then introduces the game's peculiar enemies. The story involves aliens corrupting Earth's animals, turning them into hostile creatures. The reviewer finds the concept of crazy animals as enemies quite unique. Examples of the diverse foes include Perky the bouncing rabbit, Clive the rolling hedgehog, the mysterious Stinky with a unique attack, various earthworms, Flubba the punching bulldog, and others. Screenshots show Joey facing these strange creatures in action, reflecting the game's unusual premise. This page features a comic strip based on the Mega CD game Wonder Dog. The comic depicts Billy and Diana being captured by the alien antagonists, while the game's protagonist, Joey the dog, is distressed. A mysterious voice speaks to Joey, urging him to awaken and remember who he is. Through this mysterious guidance, Joey realizes that he is, in fact, Wonder Dog, the hero needed to save his friends. This installment focuses on Joey's realization of his powers, and sets up the next part of the story, where he will attempt to rescue Billy and Diana. The comic beautifully illustrates the premise of the game's story mode. This page introduces the Mega CD game Detonator Organ, an adventure game from Hot B scheduled for release in late May for 7,800 yen. The article highlights the game's impressive animation quality, stating it rivals that of the original anime OVA, along with realistic sound and a cast featuring the original voice actors. The reviewer shares thoughts on the adventure game genre, referencing past titles like Urusei Yatsura on PC Engine Creedrom and Konami's Snatcher for their strong points like voice acting and cinematic presentation, setting a benchmark for Organ. It's noted there are some story differences compared to the OVA, but the inclusion of game-exclusive characters and the theme song adds appeal for fans, describing the game as a robust, digital comic adventure. Screenshots showcase intense mecha battles and character portraits from the game. This page continues the look at Detonator Organ for the Mega CD, highlighting its diverse gameplay elements. It first delves into the 3D dungeon exploration, a core part of the adventure. Despite its appearance, the reviewer suggests getting lost is part of the fun, emphasizing that the dungeons aren't overly difficult, and exploration by selecting directions and investigating locations is key to progressing and finding unexpected encounters, including discovering characters like a princess or stumbling into fights. The article then shifts focus to the battle scenes, stressing that while it's an adventure game, combat is crucial, particularly once the protagonist Tamoru links up with the Organ mecha. These battles are presented as a major draw, featuring dynamic, animated sequences that capture the feel of the original anime, showcasing moves like Organ's powerful Lancer attack and depicting damage against enemies like Eid 2. The reviewer praises the animation quality, stating it prevents the battles from becoming tedious and keeps the action exciting. This page continues the look at Detonator Organ for the Mega CD, focusing on its presentation and adventure game elements. The top section highlights the visual scenes, emphasizing the high-quality, animated sequences that appear frequently throughout the game, serving to enhance the experience and impress the player with their execution, which is clear from the vibrant screenshots shown. Below that, there's a small sequence titled, Armor Equipped, showing the character Kumi transforming into her armored suit, another example of the visual flourishes in the game. The main part of the page details the conversation scenes, a core component of this adventure game. Progress relies on navigating these interactions, though the reviewer notes they aren't overly difficult, ensuring smooth gameplay. Voice acting is included, keeping the dialogue engaging. The article points out that these conversation elements are crucial for this style of game. It also mentions that there are some suggestive scenes scattered throughout, adding a bit of spice. And interestingly, you can even engage in conversation during battle scenes, potentially hearing enemy voices. Screenshots illustrate various conversation and battle menus, including one showing a character just out of the bath, and another showing combat options alongside dialogue prompts, reinforcing the hybrid nature of the gameplay. This demonstrates the diverse range of interactions available beyond just exploration and combat. This page features Mahou no Shoujo Silky Lip, an RPG from Riot Telenet for the Mega CD, set for a late May release. The reviewer gives it absolute praise, strongly urging readers not to misunderstand its nature. They clarify that, while it features a cute girl, it's a truly excellent game beyond just appearances, suggesting it's more like a campus life simulation with magical elements. The page includes introductions to key characters, such as members of the Otake family. An Episode 1 digest summarizes the start of the story, where protagonist Lip is summoned, chosen as the next queen candidate, and begins a year of training in the human world. Screenshots show various scenes, including battles, town exploration, and character interactions with portraits displaying different emotions. A large, not 18+ section explicitly refutes inquiries about the game's rating, with the reviewer using humor to discuss potential suggestive content, and even includes a funny image of a muscular man and a woman in a bikini as a point of contrast or jest, confirming the game is clean. This page dives deeper into Mahou no Shoujo Silky Lip for the Mega CD, focusing on the game's second episode, titled, The Genius Girl Isabella Appears. The main section is a summary of Episode 2, told from the perspective of the protagonist, Lip. She recounts her transfer to Sakuragaoka Elementary School, the challenges of the new environment, and encountering strict teachers like Okazaki and Naragi. Lip expresses frustration about being picked on, especially by characters named Hagatank and Saru. The biggest point of contention is her defeat by another queen candidate, Isabella, who is also set to transfer to the school in June. The page also features a main characters section, introducing portraits for figures like Jugaya-sensei, Naraji-sensei, Terioka Sako, a girl Lip befriended described as her first human friend, Isabella, Hagatank, and Okazaki. Screenshots show various moments from the game, Lip arriving in a classroom, character dialogue scenes featuring Lip, Sako, and Isabella, a battle screen showing Lip attempting a gravity spell against Isabella, a dramatic image of Isabella standing in a street under a red sky, and another scene likely depicting the location of Lip's defeat. The text accompanying the battle screen notes that Lip's gravity magic was completely ineffective against Isabella, while text near the dialogue screens highlights Sako introducing herself and Isabella's dismissive attitude towards Lip's magical power, further emphasizing Isabella's formidable nature. The overall tone conveys Lip's struggle and frustration with her new school life, and the appearance of a powerful rival. This page delves further into the world of Mahou no Shoujo Silky Lip, focusing initially on the game's ending theme. This section provides a selection of illustrated moments paired with text fragments, offering a sense of the song's mood and lyrical content. Below this, the page shifts to previewing events from episodes 3 and 4. A prominent image depicts characters during a swimming class, capturing a relatable sentiment expressed as, "Getting changed and stuff is a pain," in the accompanying text. A character portrait shows Lip's appearance in these later episodes, and a screenshot highlights a scene within a bookstore, revealing that Lip takes on a part-time job there. This offers players a brief look at the future challenges and everyday experiences awaiting Lip beyond the earlier parts of the game. This page previews Merry-Go-Round, the sixth title in the fourth unit series, making its debut on the Mega CD. Originally a PC adventure game series, it has evolved, leveraging the Keydrom format. Data West developed a unique video system called DAPS, enabling the seamless simultaneous playback of animation, voice acting, sound effects, and background music, which is highlighted as a major advancement over previous CD titles where voice often stopped BGM or animation was limited. The developer labels the game not as a traditional adventure game, but as Visual Conversation Software, VCS, emphasizing the dialogue and interactive elements. The story centers around Bronwyn, a girl who is a bionic soldier created by the WWF organization, becoming involved in various incidents involving the UF military and WWF. The article expresses high anticipation for the quality based on the technology and content. Screenshots display various character portraits featured during the game's conversation sequences, including Bronwyn, Ancient, and other key figures. This page previews Sega's upcoming Mega CD RPG, Dark Wizard, scheduled for a July release. Having previously showcased the animation, this article delves into the game's audio and visual presentation. The opening sequence is described as having a serious, impactful atmosphere, enhanced by narration and character voice acting. The voice recording is noted as complete, with BGM production underway, promising to further elevate the mood. Beyond the opening, the article confirms the inclusion of animation scenes throughout the game, not just at the beginning. While these in-game animations are simpler, they are highlighted for their meticulous frame-by-frame detail, as shown in the included sequence of screenshots from Wenrir Ix's scenario. This detailed approach aims to express subtle movements and create a more realistic visual experience within the game itself, demonstrating the care taken in the game's presentation. The reviewer expresses anticipation for the final product, with sound added. This page continues the preview of Dark Wizard, focusing on the game's core concept and characters. It highlights the simulation RPG system previously mentioned and introduces the multi-scenario format, allowing players to enjoy the stories of 4 different Holy Kings. The game begins with a common opening where the Dark Sorcerer Veroneles's defeat is the objective. Players choose one of the 4 Holy Kings, each possessing light or dark attributes, requiring strategic use of these elements. The article briefly introduces the 4 main characters: Wenrir 9, son of Wenrir version 2, seeking revenge; Sion, a young woman captain of a night order; Amon, a vampire living in darkness; and Imelda, seeking revenge on Wenrir version 2 for her sister's death. The game system involves dominating roughly 20 hex-based maps by moving and conquering castles. Development is reported to be progressing smoothly, with the release date nearing and user expectations high. This page dives into the highly anticipated RPG 3x3 Eyes for the Sega Mega CD, scheduled for a late October release. The article focuses on the game's voice acting and sound production, assuring fans that despite the pressure, development in these areas is progressing smoothly. It introduces the voice cast, which features a luxurious lineup largely carried over from the 3x3 Eyes OVA. Key cast members include Koji Tsujitani as Yakumo, Megumi Hayashibara as Pai, Sanji I, and Ai Orikasa as Lingling. Photos of these prominent voice actors are featured, alongside a group photo of the cast and staff involved in the recording sessions. The article highlights that the inclusion of voices is a major draw for the Mega CD version. The sound direction is handled by Mr. Watanabe, known for his work on various anime and games, ensuring high-quality audio. Screenshots show in-game conversation scenes featuring character portraits, emphasizing how voices will bring these classic RPG moments to life. The magazine expresses excitement for the performance the voice actors will deliver in the game. This page previews the upcoming Mega CD title, Rise of the Dragon, originally a highly regarded adventure game on Phantasy platforms. It highlights the game's transition to the Mega CD, emphasizing the player's ability to explore freely using a cursor, investigating anything that catches their eye. The game centers on private detective William Hunter, nicknamed Blade, who takes on a murder investigation. The preview notes that the investigation isn't straightforward, introducing arcade sequences as a key obstacle. These sequences are sudden, action-packed shootouts that appear when danger strikes. They play out like side-scrolling action games, where you must duck, jump, even hijack, and shoot to survive. The page explains the on-screen display for these sequences, showing your health and enemy health gauges, and the ability to use different weapons like a rifle, as seen in the screenshots. Various environmental hazards such as poison gas, dangerous light, and high voltage are also shown, adding further challenge. The article notes that defeating certain enemies, like rifle-wielding thugs, is necessary to progress. Finally, the page teases that the next issue will delve deeper into the game's core system. This page introduces Thunderstorm, a tentative title from Wolf Team, slated for the Mega CD, poised to be a significant release for the console. The article positions it as a game uniquely possible thanks to the Mega CD's large storage capacity, adapting an older Laserdisc arcade game previously released by Data East. The focus is on bringing the overwhelming animation and visual fidelity of the original LD title to the home console, a feat requiring a vast amount of data. The game appears to be an on-rails or predetermined path action title, where you control the LX3 vehicle through various stages. Featured locations include the sprawling skyscrapers of New York, where intense battles take place among the buildings, the majestic Grand Canyon, with smooth transitions from ground level to the sky, and Easter Island, where the famous Moai statues serve as surprising obstacles. While the screenshots are noted as being from the original LD version, they clearly demonstrate the visually explosive gameplay expected. The article also briefly explains the nature of classic LD games, highlighting their reliance on pre-recorded video and simple, reflex-based gameplay, a style Thunderstorm aims to revive on the Mega CD. This page continues the discussion on Thunderstorm for the Mega CD, highlighting its impressive visual presentation. The headline boasts, "Ecstasy of 10,000 screens," referring to the massive amount of animation data used. The article emphasizes that, as a port of an LD game, the game features an exceptionally high screen count, achieving 25 minutes of non-stop animation at 6 frames per second, which is staggering compared to other Crydrom titles of the era. The focus on visual fidelity over complex gameplay mechanics is noted as a new direction for the Mega CD. The story section reveals the premise. A large-scale terrorist organization is threatening the world, and you pilot the LX3 helicopter to suppress them, targeting their main stronghold. Screenshots showcase the detailed environments you'll encounter, including the destroyed New York City, reiterating the previous pages mentioned, a serene aerial view, a dense jungle stage with guerrilla-style combat, and a desert oil field base in the later part of the game leading to the final fortress. The captions express excitement about the beauty of these stages and the expected quality of the port. You are confirmed to be the pilot of the LX3, tasked with completing this crucial mission for global peace. This page features an in-depth look at the 3D dungeon RPG, Ale Road, aimed at players who might get lost. It promises to show maps covering the early to mid-game sections. The article briefly recaps the story. Protagonist Roll, a priest warrior, must reseal a demon by gathering fragments of the broken gateway, which was shattered by unknown hands. Along the way, he battles dark forces and encounters a mysterious character, Chuzia Rorik. The main focus is the town of Mireia, presented with a clear map and numbered points of interest, accompanied by screenshots of the first-person view at each location. Key places include the job placement office, where you can find quests like the one involving Pick Growlery, Pick's heavily guarded mansion, a cheap tavern, a church offering free rest, unlike the expensive inn, a weapon shop selling defense gear, an item shop with essential items like the martial sheet, and the town exit leading to other parts of the world. The guide provides practical advice on what to do and expect at each spot, helping players navigate the potentially confusing 3D environment of Mireia. This guide for Isle Road focuses on 3 key locations: Shireen, Dajjal's Lair, and Isana. In Shireen, Roll, disguised as Huey, must retrieve Dajjal's egg from the lair to progress. The town offers essential shops, an inn, and a tavern. Dajjal's Lair's main goal is the egg retrieval, with an encounter with Leoness, who needs the egg for his mother. The lair's straightforward design aids navigation. The guide then shifts to Isana. After delivering an egg, Roll is invited to stay. Here, the guide highlights Leoness's house, or Ithilsort's family, and board. The note about Hanyui suggests a future plot link. Isana also features a fishing port, an item shop, and an exit to Kadol. The guide covers key quests and character introductions while hinting at deeper mysteries. This page delves into the treacherous Kushana Shrine in Isle Road, a sprawling 3-story dungeon detailed with maps for the 1F, B, 1F, and 2F, highlighting key locations like the altar on the top floor. Once dedicated to the treacherous dark god Kushana, the shrine is now the focus of Roll, as Huey's investigation following mysterious events in Isana, hinting that Chuzia might still be alive. Players must navigate the labyrinthine corridors, with a potential encounter against the dark god Kushana himself, which is framed as a battle to escape rather than win outright. The guide also outlines the immediate post-shrine objectives, returning to Mireia with Dajal's egg to prove worth to pick and potentially recruit the female thief Taylul to the party. Screenshots showcase the dungeon environments and interactions with characters like Pick. This guide highlights 3 towns in Lunar: the Silver Star, Cad, Notum, and Kilfrea. Cad, a small town, offers an inn, 10 GP, a tavern for information gathering, and shops selling rare items like the Dragonfang. Notam, guarded by protectors of a magic item, features a suspicious elder's house and a tavern currently closed. It's on the path to Tuakakema. Kilperia, a larger town, precedes the journey to Toma via the forest path, where you'll meet the Gallum family. Kilrea has a half-price tavern, a guard post, shops for weapons and items, and a casino. Beware. Both the inn and tavern are cheap in Kilrea. This guide section for Lunar. The Silver Star covers the journey from Kilshoria to Toma and beyond. The complex forest path is best navigated using the provided map. In Toma, players must locate missing dye craftsman Maxi, learning he was taken to Kilshoria. Players then explore Juzin's cave, encountering Royce, a servant of Galeon. Royce defeats the party and steals the dragon wings. The guide concludes by analyzing the escalating threat posed by Galeon's forces, including Derwin, Lake, and Royce. With Galeon's revival and the hero's recent defeat, the guide implies the need for more allies to overcome the challenges ahead. Screenshots of key locations, the Royce encounter, and character artwork are included. This page focuses on the upcoming Mega CD title, Yumi Mix. Described as an interactive comic, it was a pioneering entry in a new genre for the time, making it challenging for the magazine to convey its nature with limited information. Developed by Game Arts with original work and character design by Izumi Takemoto, the game was highly anticipated. Lacking a playable sample, the editorial team decided to give readers a taste by imagining a day in the life of the protagonist, Yumi Kami. The illustrations accompanying the text depict various scenes from Yumimi's daily routine, offering a glimpse into her world and personality, from enjoying breakfast with her family to getting ready for the day. The magazine expresses excitement for the game and hopes to show actual gameplay footage in the following issue. This approach highlights the unique visual style and character focus of Yumi Mix, which is noted to resemble an OVA format where players experience the story visually. This page dives into the highly anticipated Sega CD shoot-'em-up, Robo Aleste, known in Japan as Denjin Alesta, developed by Compile. Described as a peak example of the genre with incredible production values, the magazine highlights the game's impressive visuals, from the opening animation to the in-game screens. It draws parallels to the opening of the previous title, Musha Alesta, and notes the strong Sengoku period theme woven throughout. Screenshots showcase diverse environments, including forest stages, a ninja village, and naval battles, alongside detailed mech designs. The visual scenes suggest a strong narrative component. The reviewer expresses eagerness to see the game in action, confident that with its visuals and Compile's pedigree, the gameplay will be nothing short of excellent. Robo Aleste was slated for a late August 1992 release in Japan. This page delves into the Sega Mega CD title, Quiz Scramble Special, set to release on September 29th. This isn't just any quiz game, it's a lively experience centered around animals and nature, perfect for sparking conversation, particularly with its emphasized two-player competitive mode. While solo play is an option, the head-to-head format is where the fun really shines. Prepare for a challenge with over 4,000 unique questions spanning diverse topics, ensuring plenty of replayability. The game's quirky premise sees a professor and his assistant needing energy recovered by successfully answering quizzes delivered directly by various on-screen animals like a red panda or rhinoceros. Adding to the excitement are bonus games, including pie throwing and rope climbing, plus a rewarding roulette wheel that grants helpful items. It's highlighted as a heavy quiz experience, implying the questions can be quite challenging, making for a satisfying test of knowledge. This page previews 2 upcoming Sega Mega CD titles from Sims. First up is Capcom's Quiz Tonosama no Yabu, a simulation/quiz game originating from the arcade. This Mega CD version is a powered-up port, where players take on the role of a feudal lord aiming to unify Japan, not through warfare but by mastering quizzes. Conquering territories means winning quiz battles against rival generals. The Mega CD version boasts over 4,000 questions and adds voice narration, a significant upgrade. A 2-player competitive mode is highlighted as particularly fun. The screenshots show the strategic map, quiz interface, and character portraits. Following that is Sim's original RPG, VE, blending fantasy and a cyber-mechanical civilization. The game promises detailed character personalities and a world that evolves, with battles against monsters transitioning to encounters with robots later on. The reviewer suggests the depth of characterization could lead to gameplay reminiscent of TRPGs. Screenshots showcase the turn-based battle system and a hand-drawn world map. The page describes VE as a highly anticipated title that isn't just a simple fantasy RPG. This page previews upcoming Sega Mega CD titles, leading with the highly anticipated port of the arcade classic, Afterburner II. Developed by Cry, this version aims to capture the arcade's intensity by leveraging the Mega CD's enhanced graphical capabilities, including zoom, shrink, and rotation effects, as well as improved sound and animation sequences like dynamic launches and landings shown in the screenshots. The article emphasizes the excitement for this faithful adaptation on the new hardware. A sidebar section, titled Mega CD Over-the-Top Information, provides quick updates on other Mega CD projects. Riot is announced to be adapting two classic anime/manga titles, Galaxy Express 999 as an adventure game, and Cyborg 009 as a speedy action game. Human Original Story is working on Knuckle 2, highlighted by its character creation system, allowing players to combine different parts. World Wave is presenting two titles, The Heroic Legend of Arslan, shown with tactical gameplay screenshots and character stats, described as an SLG or tactical RPG, and Schwarzschild Colony, featuring anime-style character art like the fairy Titania. The page notes the increasing excitement surrounding the expanding Mega CD software lineup. This page presents the second part of the Be Mega Hot menu, highlighting upcoming Sega Mega Drive titles. The primary focus here is Koei's fantasy simulation game, Royal Blood. Releasing on June 25th for 9,800 yen, this 8-megabit title delves into a world of magic and monsters, following in the footsteps of other popular simulations like Master of Monsters. The game is set on the island nation of Ishumeria, ruled by the malevolent king, Excellard. The objective is to depose the king, collect 6 legendary gems and the royal crown, and ultimately conquer all 30 territories of the island to claim the throne. Players can choose from 4 different scenarios, each offering a unique starting point. Gameplay depth comes from selecting one of 6 distinct player characters, each with their own abilities, starting territory, and set of supporting companions. Players also get to choose a military advisor. This variability ensures high replayability. The game supports 2 players and includes 2 save slots, making it a well-designed experience for players. The page features portraits of the 6 playable lords, hinting at their varied personalities and roles in the game. Royal Blood's core gameplay revolves around alternating events and command phases. Random events, including natural disasters and monster encounters, impact territories. Players then enter the command phase, choosing from military, domestic, diplomacy, or other actions, each with various options like war, development, and alliances. The game emphasizes building a strong nation before engaging in war, especially in beginner scenarios. A key feature is the tactical, turn-based combat. Battles focus on unit positioning and type. A 5th unit slot allows for special units, including monsters, adding strategic depth. Victory demands intelligent tactics, particularly when facing these powerful special units. The game features map views, command menus, and battle examples, highlighting the importance of strategic planning in both the command and combat phases. This page dives into Speedball 2, Brutal Deluxe, a wild futuristic sports game developed by the Bitmap brothers. It's described as a bizarre mix of American football and ice hockey, where you throw the ball into your opponent's goal. What makes it stand out is the lack of fussy rules. Rough play and knocking over opponents is not only allowed, but even scores points. The game is coming to the Mega Drive after proving popular overseas. Beyond the brutal on-field action, there's a significant strategic layer. The page highlights the management mode, which is crucial before every match. Here you strategize by reviewing opponent data, trading players, and adjusting your lineup. A key part of this is the gym section. Using money earned from matches, you can upgrade your players' stats across various categories like speed, attack, defense, and even destruction power. How you choose to boost your team members is vital and determines your overall strategy. The screenshots show the intense top-down gameplay, player stats, and the team management interface, emphasizing that success requires both brawn and brains. It's a unique battle sport, where smart tactics are as important as sheer aggression. This page delves deeper into the gameplay mechanics of Speedball 2, Brutal Deluxe, detailing the various ways to score points and the different modes you can play. It outlines 4 distinct scoring methods: the standard goal scoring, knocking out opponents, which also earns points, activating special star lamps positioned on the field, and hitting a dome structure near the goals. These methods encourage a mix of traditional sports strategy and the game's unique brutal approach. The page also breaks down the game modes available. For single player, you can tackle knockout tournaments, compete in cup competitions, climb the ranks in a multi-tiered league, or hone your skills in a practice mode. The practice mode is highlighted as a good way to get used to the controls and field layout before diving into competitive play. For 2 players, the game offers single matches, or Best of 3 and Best of 5 series, allowing for intense head-to-head battles. The content reinforces that mastering both the scoring methods and choosing the right mode are key to becoming a champion in this futuristic sports arena. This page features Twinkletail, a fantasy shooting game. It starts by recapping the previous coverage, noting that while it has a fantasy setting that might suggest an RPG or SLG, it is firmly a shooting game with a story progressing through stages. The plot involves the protagonist, Celia the Wizard's apprentice, battling monsters to rescue her captured master. The gameplay centers around Celia's use of 5 types of magic, which function similarly to standard shooting game mechanics like shots and bombs. The page then walks through some of the game's stages and challenges. It covers areas like Garon Plain leading to Orhus Castle, Vine Gorge to Aran Castle, Vine Great Gorge, and Dora Castle, highlighting the spider-like boss in Dora Castle. It also touches upon Rieldo's Cave and the final return to Aran Castle, mentioning the difficulty of the Dark Cave and the formidable final boss in Aran Castle who attacks with fire, strange beams, and magic barriers. The screenshots show top-down gameplay, character sprites, and intense boss encounters. This page continues our look at Twinkletail, taking us into the Zard mountain range. Here, the gameplay shifts to aerial combat using a special wind rope as you battle through monsters to reach the villain Gato. There's a surprising plot reveal about another potential antagonist or victim, deceived by promises related to unleashing the power of Onyx. We also get a grand introduction to the great masters of magic, including Celia's own master, Olaf Ruby, alongside Dora Emerald and Iran Sapphire. These powerful mages hold significant positions and possess unique gems that are the true sources of their immense magical power. It's clear these characters play a vital role in the story and world of Twinkletail. BeepMD Secret Technique League, Volume 26, unveils cheat codes for Mega Drive games. In Thunder Pro Wrestling Retsuden, you can select duplicate wrestlers by holding B and C on the second controller while selecting the opponent. Steel Empire tricks include 99 super bombs by inputting a specific button sequence on the 2P controller at the self-destruct screen, and 99 lives by adjusting option settings, difficulty to hard, stock to 2, credit to 1, sound test to 65, and pressing a then B on the sound test option. For Toe Jam and Earl, a secret level 0 can be accessed via an island with a hole on level 1, while an island without presence can warp you to a high level. This page provides cheat codes and tips for the game Shining Force. It details how to obtain special items for characters Tao and Andri in Chapter 3 that change their appearance. Find a seemingly useless item called Kenji in Chapter 4, and recruit hidden characters Musashi and Hansu in Chapters 7 and 8 respectively by investigating specific locations. The mysterious yogurt ring item is also described, which can be obtained from yogurt after battles and transforms the user into yogurt when used. A note mentions a 2P mode for the game. The bottom section lists the prizes for the BeepMD Secret Technique League contest. This page dives into the history of TV games, specifically focusing on the numerous Space Invaders variants that flooded arcades. It's the 4th installment in a series exploring the evolution of arcade titles. After briefly explaining how to play Space Fever with standard arcade instructions, the article delves into various Invader games from different companies. It discusses how many games built upon the Space Invaders formula, some adding zeros to scores, others featuring different enemy attack patterns like enemies dropping from above. Sega's Space Attack and Sengoku Yamato are mentioned, humorously noting they were nicknamed Butaman, Pigman, by operators at the time due to their distinct feel, a name that still elicits a knowing wince. The article also covers Hoei's Space Stranger, initially unpopular due to a bizarre feature where hitting a specific object subtracted points. A later version removed this, and the game gained notoriety for its frequent UFO appearances, including a frustratingly elusive one dubbed Choro. The page highlights Sega's innovative special dual board, which allowed operators to switch between space attack and head-on on a single cabinet. Screenshots illustrate the different pixel art styles and gameplay displays of these early arcade hits. This page delves further into the history of Space Invaders variations, exploring different takes on the classic formula. It highlights EPM's IPM Invader, by the company now known as IRAM, noting its distinctive full-color graphics and the impressive hardware design, including a speed adjustment feature. Curiously, it mentions a notorious bug that caused invaders to drop straight down. The article also discusses a significant variant powered by the Intel 8035 one-chip microcomputer, praised as one of the most polished invader games of its time. It details how the 8035 efficiently handled the sound without burdening the main CPU. This version offered multiple gameplay modes, ABC games, with unique alien behaviors and special mechanics, like hitting an invader in the middle of a line to trigger a bomb or transform it into a mark that, when hit again, destroyed surrounding enemies. The top row required multiple shots to defeat. Visually, the page showcases Sega's special dual arcade board and points out that the Gremlin board on the left is the true original hardware behind the licensed versions. Finally, the text reflects on the enduring legacy of Space Invaders, noting that while it might seem like an old relic to younger players, it holds deep nostalgia and cultural significance for those who experienced the boom firsthand. The visuals shown still evoke strong feelings for that generation. This page details the widespread phenomenon of Space Invaders clones and the subsequent end of the boom. It explains how the low production costs and high profit margins led many manufacturers to flood the market with their own versions, creating a game war environment. The article highlights Sega's Space Attack system board, noting its Z80 CPU and superior attribute color graphics and sound capabilities compared to Taito's hardware, and mentions it was used for games like Hyankyo Alien. It then discusses the rapid decline of the invader boom, driven by overproduction and market saturation, which proved disastrous for operators who entered the market late. The page displays images of arcade boards from different Invaders variants and screenshots showcasing some of these diverse takes on the classic game. This page delves into the arcade scene after the initial Space Invaders explosion, focusing on the next wave of shoot-'em-ups and derivatives that built upon the classic formula. It shows how various manufacturers, having seen the success, developed their own takes on the genre, leading to a diverse array of titles. Screenshots display gameplay from several Invader-style games, highlighting aspects like scoring, enemy formations, and rapid firing capabilities. The page also features images of actual arcade circuit boards from games like Space Fever and Space Fighter, illustrating the hardware behind these titles, including a specific soundboard. A significant part of the page lists games from different manufacturers that either succeeded Space Invaders or were derived from its core design. This table details how companies like Universal, Taito, Data East, Sega, Konami, IREM, listed as IPM, Nintendo, Nichibutsu, SNK, and others continue to innovate within the space shooter genre, creating games that evolve the gameplay and graphics. The bottom section highlights a specific multi-game machine, Space Fever, showcasing screenshots of its different game modes, Game A, B, C. It describes Space Fever as a well-regarded derivative with multiple game variations and notes its advanced sound capabilities for the time, powered by an 8035 CPU. This section exemplifies the continued development and improvement seen in post-Invader titles. This page reviews the Mega Drive version of Gyo Wambura Jiko Chushin Ha, a popular mahjong game series. The article highlights the game's widespread presence across different platforms, comparing its ubiquity to series like Lode Runner and Alesti. It describes the game as having multiple modes, including free battle, elimination battle, and team battle, with options for special rules. A key feature noted is the large roster of characters. The Game Gear version boasts 24 different opponents, described as unique and quirky, staying true to the original creator's distinct style. Screenshots display the mahjong gameplay interface, showing tiles, scoring, and character portraits during matches. The review includes an evaluation diamond giving the game high marks for game balance and longevity, while controls and audio/visual aspects receive slightly lower scores. The 1-point review emphasizes the game's distinct charm comes from incorporating the individual personalities and even the element of luck into the characters' gameplay styles, which was unusual for mahjong games at the time. This page features a review of Joe Montana Football for the Game Gear. The article introduces the game named after the famous San Francisco 49ers quarterback. It notes that American football is not widely known in Japan, but highlights that the game includes all 28 NFL teams, featuring accurate team data. Developed in America like the Master System version, the Game Gear iteration aims to recreate the sport's atmosphere, focusing on strategic gameplay and aiming for touchdowns. Screenshots show the top-down perspective during plays, along with the statistics screen and formation displays. The game boasts diverse formations, listing 17 defensive and 6 offensive types, with Joe's play recommended for newcomers. The review diamond gives the game scores of 3.5 for controls, 3 for game balance, 3.5 for audio/visual, and 4 for longevity. The 1-point review suggests the Game Gear version is simpler and more accessible than its Mega Drive counterpart, making it suitable for beginners. It finds long passes effective, but notes gameplay can become chaotic. Despite the reviewer's admitted lack of deep football knowledge, they conclude the GG version prioritizes fun gameplay and recommend it for those new to the sport. A side panel briefly mentions upcoming Game Gear releases. This page features reviews for 2 Game Gear titles. First up is Hyokori Hayotanjima, an action game based on a classic Japanese puppet show. The premise involves rescuing friends scattered across the world after a volcano erupts on Hayotan Island. Screenshots show vibrant, distinct stages, like a South Country and the Amazon. The reviewer notes the game's short length with only 4 stages and finds the controls become tricky later on, ultimately giving it a somewhat dated feel despite the nostalgic source material. It scores moderately in the evaluation diamond, receiving 2.5 for controls and game balance, 3 for audio/visual, and 2.5 for longevity. Below that is Aerial Assault, a side-scrolling shooter. This is a remake of the Master System game for the Game Gear, featuring simplified power-ups and other adjustments. The story puts you against galactic terrorists in 1999, tasking you with destroying their ultimate weapon across 4 stages. The review praises the game's overall balance and finds the difficulty spike from the 3rd mission onwards exciting. It scores 3 for controls and audio/visual, 3.5 for game balance, and a strong 4 for longevity, although the reviewer laments the short length of only 4 missions. Screenshots display the intense aerial combat and the game's power-up system. The next page showcases the BeepMD Reader Present campaign for the June 1992 issue. Readers can apply for prizes using the included postcard, specifying their desired item and personal details. Headlining the giveaways is the grand prize, a Wonder Mega Console for 1 lucky winner, a special gift celebrating the magazine's cover refresh. This is the sleek MegaDrive/Mega CD all-in-one unit. Other prizes include your choice of MegaDrive software, 30 winners, or Game Gear software, 5 winners, specifically from titles released up to the end of May 1992. There's also an aisle load poster featuring Mikiya Mochizuki's art, 10 winners, a stylish Microworld mug cup, 5 winners, and a cool set of Sonic the Hedgehog and Shining Force stickers, 20 winners. The information section features a letter from a reader in Okayama commenting on borrowing games and the increasing number of Super Famicom users. It also announces that the next issue will feature a special feature on the game Lunar. The page also includes a question telephone number for reader inquiries and a list of the magazine's editorial staff and contributors. This page features the Sega Mega Drive title, Ambition of Caesar II, by Micronet. The headline declares, "The footsteps of history creep closer," announcing the return of the hero Caesar in a spectacular real-time war simulation that aims to surpass the previous game. The page highlights key features with accompanying screenshots. It showcases the quarter-view screen, which presents the map from an angled perspective, detailing battle scenes, city construction, and terrain for a realistic representation. The variable window system is described, allowing players to customize their display by keeping frequently used windows open and closing others, creating the most convenient layout for gameplay. It is also a real-time versus mode for 2 players, with the screen split to accommodate each player's view. The page also includes dramatic artwork depicting Roman soldiers in battle. A small notice at the bottom offers an apology, informing readers that the release date, previously set for April, has been delayed again due to unforeseen circumstances. This page presents a striking advertisement for Micronet's historical strategy game, Ambition of Caesar II. The dominant artwork features a powerful, determined-looking figure, likely Julius Caesar, set against a dramatic, fiery backdrop. Below this portrait, a detailed illustration depicts Roman soldiers engaged in battle, alongside a warship. The main headline proudly proclaims, "Now, a grand triumphant return!" emphasizing the protagonist's return. The page serves to announce the updated release information, stating the game is now scheduled for release at the end of May, priced at 8,800 yen, excluding tax. This advertisement provides a visual preview of the game's epic scope and historical setting. This page features the striking cover art for Thunder Force IV on the Mega Drive, also known as Lightning Force, Quest for the Dark Star in North America. The artwork depicts the sleek Rhine-X fighter soaring over turbulent waters and towering mountains, with dramatic lightning illuminating the dark sky. The headline proclaims the game is breaking 2 years of silence, referencing the return of the acclaimed shooter series after Thunder Force 2-1. The game's title is prominently displayed. At the bottom, information confirms it is a Technosoft release from 1992, though the price and exact release date are listed as undecided at this time. This is a classic cover for a legendary horizontal shoot-'em-up on the system. This page heralds the long-awaited arrival of Lightning Force, Quest for the Dark Star, Technosoft's newest Super STG. 2 years in the making since the acclaimed Thunder Force 2Y. Reborn with increased power and an 8 mega room, this sequel promises a grand gaming experience through its multi-part scenario. Get ready for the series' most powerful arsenal of weapons, a dynamic large screen with newly implemented free vertical scrolling, and breathtaking multi-layer parallax scrolling effects from stunning graphics. The audio has also been enhanced with clear sound for each stage and quality upgraded stereo sound effects. You can grab a limited 5,000 press 8cm CD single featuring music and an arrangement before the game is out. Reservations are currently open, and the game will be on display at the Tokyo Toy Show on June 7th, where they're giving away the CD to the first 100 attendees daily. This page focuses on the Sega Game Gear, showcasing a pair of upcoming titles. At the top, we have Hyokori Hutan Jima no Daikukai, an action game based on the classic Puppet Show. The vibrant character art and screenshots capture the whimsical charm of the series, promising a fun adventure with familiar faces. This title is scheduled for release on May 22nd. Below, sports fans get hyped for Joe Montana football, bringing the NFL superstar and strategic football action to the handheld. A photo of the man himself and gameplay screenshots are featured, with Sonic the Hedgehog cheering on the release, also set for May 22nd. The page also includes a small section promoting the Game Gear hardware and its TV tuner accessory, reminding everyone of the console's portability and versatility.